We're all trying to be mysterious out here, you feel me? Hello, 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 hello. Oops, cameras not on. Cameras not on. Apologies. I forgot to put the camera on. How you doing, people? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Welcome back to the Random Show. Welcome back to the Random Show. Welcome back to the Random Show. Welcome back to the Random Show with your host, Agostino Zinga. We are back once again. 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 Today's episode, not much to cover, to be honest. We're gonna finish all the stuff that we didn't finish yesterday. Some Tfatk stuff, I think. There's also a Brendan interview where he sat down with that guy. We'll go over that interview in full. So we'll do a full watch along with that. We're gonna do a couple of Wings of Redemption video, a couple of DSP ones, a couple of Festify, which is this UK based channel that covers a lot of like UK rap stuff. We'll check that out for a bit. We'll check out the Joe Budden clips in Twitter account, and that's about it. There's not really a lot that happened. It's been a bit of a slow news day. Slow news day. Today I spent most of my time doing Patreon stuff, so I've got that to upload later on. I recorded a Is Joe Rogan Funny part 6. That's going to be uploaded soon. I also recorded a Tim Dillon reaction, so that's going to be uploaded again tomorrow. So expect to get notified about a Patreon episode dropping sometime tomorrow in the morning. Probably I'll get them all scheduled up again. But I just finished editing them now. Yeah, they'll be all ready to go. So those are done. And what else I've been doing? You know, standard shit. I did leave the house early today. To avoid that fucking concierge guy, and it worked. No stopping chats today for me. No stopping chats. It's kind of crazy, isn't it, how I'm like literally avoiding my man like he's the ex or something, you know what I mean? It's not that deep, but hey, I made it that deep. Apart from that, what else we got to do? That's about it, really. That's about it. But happy you guys are here. Happy. Oh my god, jaded. Fucking now. I forgot again. Oh my god, this fucking jacket. I forgot again. I literally don't have it on me. Oh, forgive me, please. I'm too tired, man. I'm too tired. My body's aching. My body's aching from the gymnasium. Tomorrow. I'll have it on tomorrow. Oh, honestly, man. Yeah, I'll get it tomorrow. I would do it today, but literally, like, I can't even move from my chair. I'm so fucking. All my entire body's aching. Not to be that type of person to make an excuse, but forgive me. I have to make another excuse. I have to. This is a legit excuse. My body's aching. Tomorrow. But yeah, I've got it. No, I haven't got rid of it. No, of course not. It's a sick jacket. It fits amazing. I'm taking that shit to Berlin with me. You guys thinking like, what? The jacket fits amazing. I ain't sold that shit. So yeah, I'll show you it tomorrow. What else is going on? That's about it, really. Nothing else is going on. We're just living the life of Riley. Out here. You feel me? But big up your stream chat. Apologies again. Forgot the fucking jacket. I'm a literal ignoramus. I literally have the memory of a fucking goldfish. So apologies for not pulling it out, but it'll be on tomorrow when I stream later on during the day. All right? Please forgive me. So let's not waste any time. Let's just jump right into it. Let's just jump right into it. First thing I want to jump into, and I want the fellas in the stream chat, all the fellas in the stream chat, I want you to be honest. And I want you to be real. So no lies here. And this person is of age. They're of age, okay? So please don't lie. Be honest. All the mandem in the stream chat. All the mandem only. All the mandem only. Be honest. Would you? Yay or nay? Would you? Be honest.
Seeing your fights with Georgia was pretty rough.
Yeah.
I mean, not that would mess me up.
No, there was a period of time. It didn't mess you up.
It didn't mess me up. If anything, it messed Georgia up like Jesus. But
hold on. I will say this. I will own this. I've talked about this before.
I wouldn't own it if I were you.
No.
I wouldn't do that. You're like, that's even more fucked up.
Hold on.
His mom and I had to sit through the entire thing for every single one. I was so traumatized. I didn't know what to do. You wonder why I don't test your boundaries now?
Hold on, this is horrible. No, not that was horrible.
But we're so good now, so we should just live in the now. We're all good now.
In case you're wondering who I'm speaking about Bert Kreischer's daughter. This one here. This one that's gone to college and shit. This one right here. Be honest, man, them in the stream chat. Be honest. Be honest.
Right?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that true? Big up Josie, is that true? She's not even into dudes. Is that true? Okay, I had no idea. Big up her then. I guess she bats for the other side. Big up Bert's daughter. He kept that one quiet. You see, well, did he keep that one quiet, or is it something that he was probably told to like stop talking about? 'Cause I do remember he was really he shared a little bit too much about them growing up, in it, especially when they had their first period and all this sort of shit. I was like, ooh, I don't think they're gonna be happy about that. So I wonder if they told him to, like, you know, don't talk about boys, don't talk about girls, don't talk about any relationship stuff. Like, please stop. I wonder. Because they've probably got social media, right? I'd imagine those daughters have social media. Yeah, I can't. Can you imagine the DMs they must get from fans? Oh. Yeah, okay, just... I mean, look at her. Okay, touche. She's not exactly dressed like fucking Sexy Red, is she?
COVID was a rough time, wasn't it, buddy? COVID was not so fun.
It's so defiant.
But yeah, she's a real. It's funny how genetics work, isn't it? She's like a super mix. Like, I feel like she's like I think the other girl looks a lot more like Bert, but I think this one is like a exact 50-50 mix of Bert and Leanne, no? Or am I bugging out? In terms of face, structure, sound of voice, you know, everything. It's really strange how it's worked out. Like, she's legitimately like a half and half of them, but the other daughter looks way more like... No, the other daughter looks way more like Bert, I think. It's so fucking freaky. And she kind of sounds a bit like Leanne, but then sounds a bit like Bert. It's so weird. It's literally so weird. But yeah. You know, be funny. You know, be really funny. You know, be really funny. Imagine if she ends up doing stand-up, or becomes a writer or something, and becomes widely successful, like even more so than Bert. I think he's the type of dad that he'd resent that, you know. Knowing how Bert's fucking personality is like, I think if she became a big fucking comedian, if she became like Eliza Schlesinger level comedian or something, I think Bert, he would resent that. He would really resent that. He'd be so jealous. He wouldn't take it well. I swear to God, he would not take it well at all. That would be so funny if she got into stand-up and just like became a star. You know, like that'd be so cool. Oh my God, Tony FM is fucking hilarious. Big up Tony FM. Bert's gay joke from the special hits different now. Yeah, he would hate, exactly. Certain attention, he'd be the biggest hater, of course. Yeah, big up Tony FM. But yeah, funny. I don't know. I just saw, I was like, huh. Daughter's all grown up now. All fucking grown up, legitimately. And there's Bert again. There's Bert. Is that I think that's a Versace, isn't it? That's a Versace. A Versace little set that Bert's got there. He's starting to buy a lot of expensive clothes now. I guess maybe that's a little bit more inconspicuous than like fancy watches and cars. He's starting to, or to be fair, he probably just doesn't post his cars on social, but I've noticed the fancy watches are gone, and now he's like doing these like sets. But He's wearing these like shirts and short sets. He had a Missoni one before. This one looks like it might be Versace. So yeah, Bert spending that Netflix money good. But yeah, I just thought I would comment on that one for the lads, for the mandem. Let's continue on. Shorb steals identities, part 1, redacted take, fixing the Rogan comparison from part 1. What? Shorb taking identities. Cauliflower, yeah. Come on, that's stupid. Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember that period. That was so fucking shameless. Do you remember that? Do you remember when he started just like copying fucking Bobby Lee's glasses? That was so shameless, man. So utterly shameless. Yeah, the fucking the mullet was also shameless because he would that was his go-to insult for Theo. Whenever they did King and the Sting, he'd always rip into Theo for having a mullet. But you got a mullet, you got a mullet, and then boom, when mullets became trendy, suddenly there's fucking Brendan. The fishing one, the fishing. No, I wouldn't say fishing. Maybe fish in general, but I wouldn't say copied Chin on that one. Because Chin fishes, but he doesn't have any fish, so maybe, I don't know. That's stupid. Oh no, you know what? Hope they include that one where he copied Rogan's outfit, where he wore a white shirt and he had his fucking tie all disheveled and shit. I hope they copy that. Oh yeah, that was super embarrassing, man. That was super. He was trying to save face because of how horrible that interview went, and he tried to act as if like Logan and Jake Paul sent him that costume, when really he just bought the costume off of Amazon, the Prime thing, and he tagged Logan and Jake, and then I don't think either of them liked the post. I'm pretty sure he tagged them, but they didn't even like the post. So that whole clout chasing thing went to nothing. So cringe, man. Imagine clout chasing and begging and licking somebody's ass with your son also in the picture. Like, oh yeah, come on, Brendan, man. Have some pride, my friend. Have some pride. Oh yeah, that was a good era too. Yeah, that was good. That was a good era where he was cosplaying as the guy from Busted with the Boys. I forgot his name again. That was so funny. That was such a funny fucking era. The mustache, the outfits, yo. I don't know. I think this sort of stuff like is acceptable maybe when you're younger. I never kind of liked it. I was a little bit of an anti person. Whenever I saw somebody famous wearing something that I had, I would stop wearing it. Just because I didn't want anyone to say, oh, you've got that Pharrell thing. You know what I mean? I just always fucking dumped it. But if you're going to go through a phase of like not knowing who you are and kind of figuring it out by copying people, that's stuff that you do when you're super young, you know? Your formative years. You shouldn't be copy and pasting personalities and fucking senses of style in your fucking late 30s, early 40s. That's a little bit extreme. A little bit extreme if you're still struggling to find out who you are in your late 30s, early 40s. But I guess we've all got a different journey. Yeah, what a time to be alive. What a time to be alive. I always wondered, like, what was that aesthetic even about? With the straw and the car and stuff. Was that just like ways like, oh, I'm this big strong guy, but I also can be silly? That's like his comedian era probably, right? Like peacocking, like here's me in my really fast, really kind of manly car, macho car in a Porsche, but I've got these really hipster glasses, this hipster beanie, and I'm drinking this like really sugary drink, and I'm making this weird face thing. So maybe it's like he liked the contrast of that. But that was an interesting time where Porsche was like, his number one personality. Now, I don't think I've heard him mention Porsches ever since, he's on this truck thing. I don't think I've ever even heard him mention a Porsche or Porsche in general. Zero. So that whole identity is completely gone. Even though it was like, oh, I'm from a Porsche family. So okay. Now you're a GMC family. Now you're a Ford family. It looks like it's really interesting. Or a Jeep family. It's funny how those things change. Or a Dodge family, Hummer family. Every year new family, every year new family. Let's jump to that interview actually. Oh no, you know what? Let's finish that Tfatk K. Let's finish that Tfatk K. It's gonna be a bit brutal, so please don't fucking leave. So let's finish that Tfatk K and then we'll move on to some stuff. We'll skip ahead as well. Let's finish this. Tfatk episode number 1080. Okay, deep breaths, deep breaths, deep breaths.
Monster truck. John Jones has some issues.
Oh yeah,
and seems to always bounce back. He's okay. There's been a number of guys.
After a fight, sometimes your brain can be bruised. So my friend had a brain injury. He fell out. So my friend had a brain injury. He fell out of a truck. He's a stuntman. And for the first 2 months, they kept him in the hospital because he had bruised his prefrontal lobe, which made him nasty, which made him like fighting. So they had to tie him to the bed. He had to tie to the bed.
But with these fighters, you got to understand that the cloth that we're cut from isn't the same as everybody else. So
a different type of cloth, right? Brendan's a different type of cloth. He's an outlier. The funny thing about him, what he's saying is, he wasn't always a fighter though. He stumbled into it because that was his only option to be a professional quote unquote athlete. That was it essentially. So he's acting as if he was always a fighter, born to do it, but he only got into it because he couldn't make it in football. So this idea that we're all different, it's like, yeah, maybe they're different, you're not. You know, you did it for the career, for the job, for the connections and whatnot, and it works, but let's relax.
So for the majority of them are fine, and you don't see any episodes.
Ah, damn it!
But there's a lot of guys where they're just wild fucking boys, dude.
Bunch.
They fight.
Hey, big up NJ.
For a sec I thought grapes was talking about drug flip.
Yeah. Is it toxic if I say it was kind of disappointing how unscathed Brendan came from the accident? Actually thinking back, is that toxic to say? Is that bad? Is that bad spirited? Is that evil to say that? I don't mean in a bad way, but it was kind of like anticlimactic how little he actually.
Powerful bunch.
The big episode of Aziz.
You might be cut from a different cloth, Papa, but you ain't never felt these fabrics.
Cloth talk. You're talking about cloth talk, right? Big up fucking DJ Khaled. Like, for those of you who pay attention to DJ Khaled's Instagram account, has he ever bitten? Because DJ Khaled gets rinsed on these Instagram comments because he's Palestinian, but he's made no post about Palestine, about the war there, zero. No solidarity, no nothing. He just acts like the war's not happening. And these are his people. He's literally from there. And I'm assuming his comments are probably, unbearable. Everyone kind of attacking him and shit. And I don't think I've seen him bite or snap or respond or clap back ever. Have people seen that? Have people seen DJ Khaled clap back? I don't think I've seen it. That takes an insane amount of self-control. When everyone's trying to get at you, everyone wants you to respond, everyone wants you to kind of speak up for your people, and you just like head down. Nah, I'm just gonna post another fridge tour. I'm gonna post me riding around in a jet ski, another pair of new shoes I got, me in the studio. He's acting like it's not happening, and he's refusing to bite. It's pretty crazy, man. Big up DJ Khaled. I don't know how he does it, but he does it
for a living.
Yes, but this is
yeah. See, I actually don't think this CT. I think this is even something else, even
paranoid.
Yes, even more concerning.
Because sometimes schizophrenia hits you when you're, it's typically
and again,
in men,
schizophrenia,
30s and 20s and
but
30s.
schizophrenia could have run in his family, or there's some other, or he's had.
So the way he says schizophrenia just makes me. It sounds weird. It's just his mouth, the way it moves. No pause.
Because sometimes schizophrenia hits you when you're, it's typically
and again,
in men,
schizophrenia,
30s and 20s and 30s.
But schizophrenia could have run in his family.
Schizophrenia? It sounds like it's someone's name.
Or there's some other, or he's had a mental illness.
20s and
but
30s.
Schizophrenia could have run in his family, or there's some other, or he's had a mental illness his entire career.
Yes.
There's a lot of fighters you don't know that I do that are bipolar, manic depressive.
Yes.
Hey, it's not the UFC's fault. They were born that way, and they've had it since they were kids.
How do you know this? He's such a cunt, isn't it? How do you know this? Why does that even matter? Can it not be made worse by getting your face caved in? Like, what is he talking about right now? Why is he so like, like, I guess you have to do this with Brenda because you want to try and curry favor with the UFC. You want to be welcomed back with open arms, but they're never going to be cool with you, my guy. Just move on. Just move on. They're never going to be cool with you.
And then they get involved in MMA because they had no options. So it's accumulation of a ton of stuff.
There's late onset schizophrenia after
to point the smoking gun at the UFC or MMA in general and making it this bad thing is insane. Insane.
How is it insane if there are some bad elements to it? How is it insane if it may have some effect on people's mental health and condition and whatever else it may be? Why is that insane? What is wrong with this guy, man? Why is he being such a bootlicker?
Same thing with football. Insane. Fucking insane.
You're going to always risk in a sport where you have a fight career for 30 years, 20 years, you are going to probably have brain damage. And you're probably going to, like you see it with boxers all the time. You go see boxers at those retirement ceremonies, it ain't pretty. So your brain's not made to take that kind of damage, no matter who you are. And, you know.
But I guarantee you talk to a guy like Mike Tyson, you talk to a guy like Evander Holyfield.
He seems actually kind of fine. Tyson. I mean, in a way, I'm saying.
Powerful bunch.
Brendan hates Mike. Big up
Bobby
us.
used to run a doctor office in his mom's closet as a kid, so he's seen all the youth fighters' mental health records.
Running a clinic out of your mum's wardrobe is fucking hilarious, man. Hold on 1 second. Let me put these comic books away while I take your blood. Oh my god.
You know.
But again, if he didn't have boxing, you're talking about a kid from Brownsville who grew up on the streets.
Well, I don't think you have to make both can be true, right? Like one is boxing and MMA is awesome and it's a great sport if you have the talent and there's a lot of glory that comes with it.
And it's the only way they were going to change
all of that.
lives.
That could be true. And then
all right, Brendan, relax, bro. The only way you were going to change life if you had Rogan. This guy, bro, relax. Jesus Christ.
Other side that can be true is that you are taking you may very well give yourself brain damage if you are a certain kind of fighter, if the way you train, whatever it might be. When I saw, that's why I wanted, when Volkanovski fucked up Brian Ortega, I wanted that fight stopped at least around early because it's not okay. Because so in some ways it's like, do we really need to see this? Do we know who's winning this fight? So that was my problem with that.
But again, for every BJ Penn, you have 500 fighters that are fine.
I don't know about 500, but you have
500 who are not. First of all,
it's how long you fight.
You have 1,000 that aren't schizophrenic.
Yes, but I want to.
This is also a rare case. Yeah. This is super rare.
He kept fighting way well in.
So because it's a rare case and it's a one-off thing, should we not be concerned? Should it not be cause for concern? Should it not be spoken about? Should it not be addressed? Should there not be protocols introduced to maybe mitigate for things? Awareness, whatever else it may be, just a conversation alone. What does he want? He wants people to not talk about it. Like those BJ Penn videos are pretty disturbing, man. They're pretty upsetting too. Really, really upsetting. You just shouldn't talk about it. He knows what he was getting into. It's a fighting game. Blah, 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 blah. Like, isn't Brendan's rationale for doing nicotine pouches, drinking as much coffee as he does, energy drinks, all this stuff, isn't part of his rationale for doing that to improve his cognitive abilities and shit, and to stave off any negative effects of fighting for that long and the damage he took and any lingering CTE? Isn't that the whole reason why he does all that shit? And now he is like getting upset that people are asking questions about the UFC and how it's run because of how BJ Penn turned out. I don't see this bootlicking thing is strange. Like I said, it's a waste of time because I don't think Dana's ever gonna forgive Brendan the way he probably would want it to be forgiven, and it's not gonna probably put him in good graces to the UFC either because I don't think he's probably got any friends over there either. So I don't really know why he's doing this sort of shit. I'm not gonna lie.
It was a Tony Ferguson kind of situation.
But then there's guys like Don Cerrone has as many fights as BJ Penn, or Jim Miller has more fights than BJ. They're fine.
It's true. They are fine.
They're fine.
It's true. Didn't you do a thing where you have certain genes? Some people have certain genes where they're more prone to CTE.
Yep.
Huh.
Yeah, there's a cursor in your DNA, a gene where they can see if when you get concussions, if it's going to affect you really bad and CT down the road, and then if you have that, it's trouble.
Why don't there's something about the hell's it called? The rams when they ram into each other. How come they don't get brain damage?
I think they're already stupid.
Yeah,
They're rams.
yeah, they're
right?
stupid, but they have their brains are in a.
Also, how would they
it's like
know?
A gyroscope.
Slurred speech.
Yeah, there's a gyroscope. Watch.
No, I know what you're saying when they ram
They
into each
talked
other.
about it in
But
concussion.
it's their neck, right? But the brain still. But apparently their neck.
Can we not just say we don't know? They're talking about rams and as in animals, right? And not rams as in the LA Rams or whatever. Can't you just say I don't know? Chin, can you Google that, please? Why are they pontificating about why rams don't get CTE and brain damage? Like, why can't you just Google it? Why are you like trying to explain it? It's their neck, right? Like they've got like I thought I'm waiting for Brendan to say rams have carbon fiber skulls or something. Honestly, I'm waiting for that. I'm waiting for him to say something like that. Carbon fiber skulls. That's why.
Are like king sharks.
Rams,
They absorb it.
Oh, I knew it. I knew he'd make a car. I knew he'd make a car analogy. He said rams' necks are like king shocks. They absorb the blow, the direct blow. What? A neck works like a shock absorber. Is that what you're trying to say? Okay.
Right there from headbutting. Okay. All right.
It's universal for all of us.
Okay.
Ain't that a bitch? Even the
Okay.
rams get dumber.
I know.
Yeah. Wow. Up to 30 miles an hour. Have you seen this shit?
Oh yeah. It says studies have found that the brains of these animals show signs of TBI.
Damn. Okay.
Tau tangle
They
formation.
have thicker skulls, which provides some protection. But like you
It's
said,
the way their necks are set up, but the brain, there's nothing you can do.
they got that.
Nowhere in the article this
Powerful bunch.
Yo, big up Aziz.
Shout out King Shocks and Tfatk for upgrading these rams. Buy some merch and win yourself a ram through the raffle. Promo code CTE for 10 years off your life.
For 10 years off your life is hilarious. Big up Aziz.
Neck though.
Like you're not gonna give that Tua from the Dolphins a big enough helmet.
Bring
It's
that
just-
shit up. I want to see these motherfuckers hit because some of them muskox are they just come right at each other. It's nuts. God, I don't even know what to say about it.
Bighorn Rams. Shout out to Ram trucks.
Great content. Great content.
Look at this. Like.
Listen to it.
God, dude.
Look, he's
I'm
concussed.
sorry, but they're concussed.
No, he's concussed.
He's like,
they're
are you like?
concussed.
They take a hot second. He's kind of walking to the side a little bit.
I mean, they're also, they've also got their tusks. Maybe their tusks absorb.
Nah, man, they're getting fucked up. It's like a football. Oh, here they go. He's like, you want some more, bitch?
I don't know if it's gonna show it. No.
Not me.
No, they're concussed. They're like,
Hell yeah.
Actually, that was a really good ram face by Brenda there.
No.
Not me.
no, they're concussed. They're like,
Yeah, that's a really good ram face. We need that. That might be a new emoji to put in the fucking chat. I ain't done an emoji. I ain't done an emoji in a while. That's a good emoji. when you say stop and she keeps going.
Hell yeah. They're very concussed. Bring up musk ox. They
Musk
really
ox?
hit.
But
Yeah.
how do woodpeckers not get CT?
There's
woodpeckers are-
something about their heads are in some kind of a gyroscope.
Powerful bunch.
Yeah, big up NJ.
Tusks? Brian, did you fight in the UFC too, bro?
The ram trunks. It's the ram trunks. The ram trunks.
There's some kind of a gyroscope.
I still think they get it though. Let's take a little break because this episode of the Fire and Kids
Oh my god,
it's worth
so many fucking stupid
upgrade
ads.
stretchy.
Let's move
Done off it.
more.
Hey, this is stupid, right?
No,
This is a little
they're gonna run at each
anticlimactic.
other. It's kind of crazy. Watch this.
Yeah, but the best example is the battling rams,
I
right?
don't know. This is pretty crazy. Watch this. Got it. And you're right. They're dumb as shit. So when all you have to do is eat grass, it doesn't much matter.
Oh, that's better.
It was all right.
Watch.
It was like two linemen. That was like two. That ain't like the whole Rams. Fucking.
I don't know, man. That's a lot of.
But the
force.
weight, yeah, the weight is going to be a big one.
Damn, that's a lot of force. Look at their whole body.
Head-on car smash.
They're fucking.
That's a
ugly.
full gallop, dude. Oi!
That looks pretty crazy.
The females can
Why
only
do
look
they do
on,
it?
while the males
Because they want to bang.
Fighting for
girls.
bitches. Fighting for bitches.
That's literally what.
Why does anyone do it? They're
this.
fighting
Oh,
for
yeah.
bitches.
Yikes.
I think that tickled so nice, isn't it? I think that tickled our girl. I think she got tickled there. I think she got tickled.
Do it?
while the males
Because they want to bang.
Fighting for
girls.
bitches. Fighting for bitches.
That's literally what.
Why does anyone do it? They're
this.
fighting
Oh,
for
yeah.
bitches.
Go on, girl. Show that neck off. Show that neck off. Bit of shoulder, bit of collarbone, bit of cleavage. Just remind Papa what he's missing out on. Remind what he's gonna miss out on.
Yikes. They are strange looking animal. Apparently good eating.
Those things are fucking stupid.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Here we go.
Come on, skip ahead. What are they doing? What are they doing?
Their small brain. He went protecting their
Small brain.
enormously small brain.
Yeah, so, either way. Okay.
Dude, how funny, last week's episode, we were talking about direwolves, and the reason it was,
Episode direwolves, wolves. Why does he sound so zesty saying it too? Direwolves.
dude, how funny, last week's episode, we were talking about direwolves.
Episode.
Okay.
Dude, how funny, last week's episode, we were talking about direwolves, and the reason it was on that board is because Rogan had that dude on that created fucking 3 direwolves.
I know.
We have a current event about that.
A direwolf?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, so now it matters because Rogan was talking about it, right? Now it matters all of a sudden. Now he cares because Rogan was talking about it. Typical.
Kind of crazy.
Out of all the shit, dude, I would have brought back the saber tooth.
Well, they're trying to bring back the woolly mammoth.
Yes.
Now,
They did
I
it in
said
mice.
that too about the saber tooth. I believe we should bring out the saber tooth because I want to prove that those dumb long teeth are just in the fucking way.
No, the guy was saying, though, that they get recommendations. The Megalodon's number 1, and then the saber-tooth. I think saber-tooth number 1, Megalodon's number 2.
Don't bring back Megalodon.
He just eat everything in the ocean.
Jesus.
But he was saying with the saber-tooth, it's tough because they have to have the DNA that's, some of it's like 2 million years old, and they don't have any really good DNA on a saber-tooth. He's like, it's a lot tougher than you think.
Okay, that's what it is. Yes, because a lot of it's just in
The DNA strands.
Right.
Yeah.
Ready?
This is what we came to hear, isn't it, from Tfatk? DNA talk. Cellular DNA, cellular regeneration. This is what we come here. We come for Tfatk.
Ready for current events?
Sure.
So this is the one we just talked about. The Game of Thrones creator was actually invited by the gentleman who has learned to recreate the direwolves to come out and be one of the first people to hold them. Their names are Romulus, Remus, and of course Khaleesi.
Remus.
Khaleesi's great.
Yeah. So Ben Lamb is
They should have been all Game of Thrones names, right?
Probably. But Romulus and Remus are
Creators of
Rome.
yeah. Yep, it's kind of stupid, right?
So it says like direwolves differ from modern.
It's a good name. I think Elon Musk kids called that. I quite like the name Romulus. It's funny, isn't it? Brendan saying names are stupid when he named his kid Boston because Rogan's from there, and he named his kid Tiger just to be different. You know, like like somebody with kids that named. I think every kid's got like a weird. Like even Billy, the daughter, she's named after some character in Stranger Things, right? Like criticizing other people's names or unconventional names, and you got those kids' names is fucking hilarious. Lack of self-awareness on 150,000.
Modern wolves in that they're obviously much larger, have much more muscular bodies, and have more prominent jaws and teeth.
Damn.
And the way that they were able to do this and tweak the DNA is that they took DNA from a 13,000-year-old tooth and a 72,000-year-old skull of a gray wolf, which was the dire wolf's closest relative, to birth a hybrid that pretty much looks like them.
So it's a hybrid.
It's
then.
a hybrid. But
Oh, so it's not 100% direwolf?
no.
I did not know that.
But they're living at a secret nature preserve, like not people can like maybe
Oregon.
Okay.
Right? He was like, it's in the Northwest. We don't give away locations. Like, Oregon. That's where you're at, dude.
So it's not a real direwolf.
It's
Part.
It's got the. It's
But
got the
apparently,
DNA.
what are they, 6 months old and they're 80 pounds each already?
Oh, they're going to be huge then.
Yeah, huge.
I mean, there's a little video that'll show you how they're made, but
But they don't give you the
You might
updated
have made
video
up
because
that.
they don't want to know. Rogan saw the video,
Really?
the actual footage.
look at that.
That's wild.
Hey, can I be honest?
I know.
Say it.
It looks like every wolf we've ever seen, right? He's just gonna be a little bigger. If you're gonna do some shit, but I want to be blown like UFC 300. If you're gonna blow me, do a fucking woolly mammoth, do a saber tooth, bring back a pterodactyl, do some shit, bro.
I
Do
didn't
some
say
Jurassic
it.
Park
I didn't
shit,
say it, but I'm saying it.
right?
Yeah.
Like I was listening on Rogan, I'm like, and then I looked him up, I'm like,
Well, we start with the diary.
Imagine, of course, Brendan's not impressed in it. Imagine going to all that work to fucking resurrect and bring back the direwolf, but Brendan Schaub, the intellectual titan, the physicist extraordinaire, is not impressed. The biologist is not impressed. Love it.
Direwolf. How about that?
Yeah, there's
you
a
clearly,
guy.
you clearly have all the shit to do some wild shit. Let's get wild. Let's do Jurassic Park shit. You know how dope would be get some pterodactyls in this bitch?
Yes.
Fuck a drone. We start getting some American pterodactyls.
Come down and grab you though.
Hey, Iran, check out this pterodactyl. Good fucking
They'll
luck.
Put a hurting on you.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Fuck a
pterodactyl.
bomb. Pterodactyls with American flags all over
death
them.
from the sky, bro.
That's what I'm
All of
saying.
a sudden, we're monkeys looking for eagles. You don't want to fuck with a pterodactyl.
Yeah, if this guy wants to blow me,
What did he say? All of a sudden we're monkeys looking for eagles. What? What did Brian Callen say? What was that? This is like an old man comment, isn't it?
a bomb. Pterodactyls with American flags all over
death
them.
from the sky, bro.
That's what I'm
All of
saying.
a sudden, we're monkeys looking for eagles. You don't.
What? What?
American flags all over
death
them.
from the sky, bro.
That's what I'm
All
saying.
of a sudden, we're monkeys looking for eagles. You don't want to fuck with a pterodactyl.
Okay, cool. Makes sense.
Yeah, if this guy wants to blow me, they're the same guy, but one's younger, right?
Yeah.
If they're gonna blow me, you got to do a saber tooth, megalodon, T-Rex, something dangerous.
Yes.
Don't give a fuck about your all white wolf.
Half direwolf.
Yeah, it's half, bud.
I mean, so the direwolves were much bigger. Yeah.
But apparently, he said they're whatever 6 months old and they're 80 pounds already,
Yikes.
and they don't stop growing fully to like 2 years, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got fat fucking wolf.
So it'll be 200 pounds.
So all this fun.
See, pronouncing wolf that way, like, in no way in no.
Powerful bunch.
Yeah, Angel Ranger, appreciate you.
This is like watching a severely irradiated episode of JRE from the early 2010s. Rogan is like Jane Goodall compared to these two. Unreal.
It's just like, I wonder if somebody can prove. I guess I could do it myself, but I wonder if there's a way that you can track when they stop trying to be funny. I wonder if there's a direct correlation between Brendan quit his stand up and them turning Tfatk into this type of show, where it's like them trying to talk about news and politics and cultural things, and or just talk about shit they have no interest or knowledge of. I wonder when that such happened, because I remember before in the past they used to be really strict about, or they used to be very intentional about what they spoke about and didn't speak about. But I think that nowadays they're trying to be like the everyman podcast that appeals to all people. But it's like, come on, man, no, like no one's going for Tfatk for general news. They're going to for specific things. So I think the fact that they stopped that is what's led to what we see now at the moment. It's just a weird imitation of maybe Rogan and other things as well, but it's just terrible because none of these guys give a shit. None of them have probably picked up a book in their entire lives. It's like, oh yeah, it's a nightmare.
And you create a fat wolf that's all white.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And
And doesn't the direwolf live in like in the snow? That's the whole thing.
And it's not here.
And they're roaming around Oregon.
The alibi or the Caucasus Mountain dog. ahead
The
and
Caucasus Mountain.
Caucasus, yeah, Caucasus.
Yeah, they,
Chin can't spell that. That's why he's struggling. Chin definitely can't spell caucus. Chin is definitely sweating buckets right now. Caucus. So is that like a C or a K?
Alibi or the Caucasus Mountain Dog.
The Caucasus Mountain.
Caucasus, yeah, Caucasus
yeah, they
Mountain.
they put the spikes around their neck.
I mean, they're just
Heavy on the
dog.
cock.
These are
Caucus,
200-pound
heavy on the
dogs.
cock. Chin.
And they're if they see a wolf, they come after him.
How did Chin spell it?
Caucasian Shepherd
Yeah, go ahead
dog.
and see how
Oh,
big.
okay, he got it.
that
There you
is
go.
They
compared
put
to that
spikes around their necks so the wolves can't bite their necks.
wolf. Yeah. That's a real picture of that woman.
This
right
is
there.
not real.
Yeah, that's real.
That is real.
Yeah, they're that big.
That
It's
really
just
is
like,
real.
but also
That's
like
how
a-
big they are.
Mm-hmm.
I've
Like
seen them with
bigger
my
than a
own eyes.
mini horse.
They're giants. I've seen them with my own eyes. They're 200-pound dog.
100 pounds at minimum.
Yeah.
They can reach up to 170.
The fact that Brian knows so much about dogs is like it's giving off very wealthy, isn't it? It's giving off somebody that grew up on a farm or like a house with like a with a large property. You know, you grew up on a large property. Sorry, this immense knowledge of like dog fucking breeds and shit. It's kind of weird, but it's also kind of funny. I like it.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
Bigger than that.
I don't know if that picture's real, to be honest.
No, it's just like, you know,
I've-
Because
I've
Tiger took a
actually-
picture next to a 200-pound Mastiff.
I've
That's
seen them
def-
with my own eyes. They're bigger than that. Some of them. I was like,
This
what
looks real.
in the fuck is that? I couldn't.
This one's a
believe it. I
little
saw one at
insane.
the airport, and I was like,
Oh, that
what is
one's
going on?
super fake.
Because he's so much in front,
Yeah.
you know, it's just camera.
Hey, also, if you're gonna do all that funding
But
for
there
some
you go.
wild shit, you're not gonna make a Stegosaurus, son.
you go, though.
You're not gonna make a fucking Triceratops.
Right.
All right, brother, we get it. You read your kids their bedtime stories sometimes. We get it. We get it. We get it.
If you want to knock everyone's dick in the dirt and get some go viral, fucking do a Triceratops.
It's too far back though, Brent. It's like the thousands of years. It's just they can't get.
Hey
Bring up
man,
an alibi.
you want to
Bring up
blow me or
alibi.
not?
But yeah, that's
Bring up
that's
the alibi dog.
the
So
alibi
basically,
dog.
basically, he took normal wolves and dyed them white, and we're supposed to.
What does some nice do there? Did she shake her head when he said, "Do you want to blow me or what?" Did she smile? Oh no, she smiled. She smiled.
An alibi.
You want to
Bring up
blow me or
alibi.
not?
But yeah, that's
Bring up
that's
the alibi dog.
the
So
alibi
basically,
dog.
basically, he took normal wolves and dyed them white, and we're supposed to flip our tops.
Alibi.
And then the guys of Game of Thrones holding him. All right.
Those are the fucking. These are. Oof.
Dude, that looks crazy.
Those are real. Those dogs are ridiculous.
Is there a video?
They breed those things to fight, and they are in Afghanistan and stuff like that. That's
Oh,
wow,
damn it.
Look at this.
That's a pit too.
Yeah, but I'll put my money on the pit. Pit doesn't quit, and
That big pit? Hell yeah.
he just doesn't get as tired probably.
Come on, Chin. Fucking hell.
Paris Baguette is
I don't
bringing
think it's real.
Hmm?
I don't know if this is real.
Let's just see real quick. It's 1.4 million views.
Of course, Chin doesn't have YouTube Premium. Of course. He's MacBook Pro. When Brendan got Chin his new MacBook Pro, it didn't come with YouTube Premium.
They with the young bear.
Oh, it's in Russia.
Physical life.
Damn it, he's not that much smaller than that bear.
Alibi. In clip number 4. Let's be honest, this bear is too young.
These videos suck, right?
Yeah, they do.
The point is, they're scary.
And they're big.
But that's a sick dog. Look at that thing.
Meet the dog that even tigers won't mess with. The Alibi, also known as the Central Asian Shepherd Dog.
I'll take a tiger.
From Central Asia,
Yeah.
the Alibi
Yes,
has
you
been
will.
bred for thousands of years to protect livestock against predators like wolves and even big
They are
cats.
rough
This is
fuckers,
not
though.
just a dog. It's a fearless guardian. With their massive size, powerful build, and deep bark, they are a formidable.
Brendan wants one. Look at Brendan's face. He wants one. He wants one to put in the back of his Hummer. Look at his face. He's plotting already. He wants one to stick in the back of his Hummer. You know it. You know it. You know he wants to put one in the back of his Hummer. You know he wants to put one in the back of his Hummer. He wants that fucking dog. Sorry, I think I skipped ahead there.
25, 35 and a half.
35 and a half at the end of my workout.
At the end of your workout.
Apologies,
It was
apologies.
deadlift day and pull-up day, and I thought, you know what?
Apologies.
Fuck it. Let's end on 225.
Apologies.
And I don't use spotters. I think spotters.
Apologies. Bear with me a second. Bear with me a second. Bear with me a second here. I skipped too far ahead. I went too crazy. I think they were here. Where are they again? Somewhere around here, right? Somewhere around here. Where are they? Did we find it? Come on, you piece of shit. There you go.
Breezing.
Yeah, there.
Big up Young Girl Vibes. You can skip ahead some more. We don't mind. Okay, cool. Let me skip past the dog bit then. The dog section is getting fucking tiring.
One.
Let's current events now. Current events.
Hard on the pillow.
God.
What else you guys got?
This one's a heartwarming video. So I'll just play it.
Look at the volume.
We don't have royalty in the United States, but we sure have something pretty close, and he's sitting in row 1. We have a survivor of the Battle of Iwo Jima aboard. Gordy is 100 years old. He landed on Iwo Jima's birthday. I know I've had some great birthday parties, but it's not quite as dramatic as that. So please, a round of applause for Gordy. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be here. Thank you.
Is Brendan gonna cry? So is Brendan's gonna automatically mention that he's got members of his family that served in the army, right? Immediately gonna mention that, I bet you.
Sir, it's an honor.
Hey, Gordy, when was your birthday? February 19th. Oh, happy birthday.
We don't have
So he might be one of the last remaining survivors. What? What's wrong? What do you have to say? What do you have to say about this adorable moment? Brendan?
No, it's all good.
I don't say it.
You guys are so mean.
No, I'm not mean. I'm just.
This guy
great,
fought
man.
for our country.
I love that he's one of the main survivors. It's incredible. I'm just.
I'd like to know what he did.
I just think I think he's just like, oh boy. I think he's like sitting there going, oh, well, there you go. Let's lift my hat up. Yeah, at 100, I'm looking at him going, when you're 100, you're like, God, just
leave me alone.
He's like,
He doesn't want the recognition.
Yeah, he's just like, leave me alone. He's probably dealt with this a lot, and he's like, all right.
He's like, yeah, I survived Iwo Jima. I was in the back folding towels.
Right. No,
it doesn't matter.
No. If you're in Iwo Jima as a Marine, you went in there. But what I'm saying is that he's probably saying to himself, I'm the last guy left, which means
classic, right? Classic. One man in his 60s who gets his wife to buy him t-shirts in multi-packs, right? One man in his 60s who probably has his parents send him money and his wife buys his clothes. Another man in his 40s who dresses like a teenager and can't do anything if he hasn't got an assistant. Here they are taking the piss out of an actual legitimate veteran, laughing, mocking, using him for bits and for a joke. When really and truly, this humor, this need to make people laugh, should have happened earlier on in the show. But when there's a moment where you can be a bit sincere and reflect and get,
powerful bunch.
Ranger, they don't take it.
If woke PPL reacted this way to a World War II vet.
Exactly. But it's okay when they do it. What absolute cunts.
I don't have much time. Like, thanks for the reminder. He's just 100 and he could give a shit. He's so funny.
100.
Let's take a little break, kids. It's the last one.
Fucking hell, how many ads did they have in this episode? Oh my god, bro. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I feel like they have like 17. Jesus Christ, are these ads? Oh god, I'm listenable this way.
So Cynthia,
worst. She's the
Irvina.
biggest fucking narcissist ever.
I'm just gonna let you guys listen.
Oh, she's such a
Isn't
narcissist.
easy.
The restart.
None of
The optics of these two white men attacking this black queen. Love it. If they were more famous, stuff like this will go viral and they'd get like soft cancels, but no one gives a fuck about Tfatk. No one gives a fuck about Brian Can and Brendan Shaw. But it would be so funny if they had a little bit more clout, a little bit more stature, and this stuff could go viral, so people could like leave comments and rile them up and cause them issues. It'd be so funny, but they're pretty irrelevant, so no one gives a fuck. But let's play it.
of it is.
I rebooted it.
She's so precious. She's so like serious.
She's worth over $5 million.
She sucks.
Isn't easy.
She's a problem with Hollywood.
None of it is.
She's the problem. She's the problem. Not people like Brian allegedly going around diddling people, and his best friend Chris D'Elia doing what he did, and whatever else who enabled those type of behaviors. The real problem with Hollywood is this actress here. She's the actual problem. She's the main
powerful bunch.
Yeah, big up A. Martinez.
Never forget Brenda's wife's last name is hyphenated.
Exactly.
Waking up and choosing to be yourself. Proclaiming a space belongs to you when you don't feel welcomed. Teaching people on a daily basis how to address you.
Also, she's got more talent in her on her bald head than they have in their entire bodies.
And dealing with the frustration of reteaching people a word that has been in the human vocabulary since the dawn of time.
She's talking about
them.
Oh, so self-important.
Words used to describe pedantically two or more people. Poetically, a person who is simply more. It isn't easy.
She is.
What are your thoughts?
I think
None
she's
of
the
it is.
biggest fucking narcissist.
Waking up.
Narcissist on narcissist crime. This is Spider-Man meme, isn't it? This is fucking insert Spider-Man meme right here. This is the perfect moment to insert that Spider-Man meme.
Who needs that? Who needs to check herself? Because she's prodigiously talented as a singer and an actress.
She's very talented.
Yes, she's Nigerian by birth, I believe her parents.
Someone says a diaphragm more than one person, they, them, is actually known as schizophrenia.
Yeah. she just sucks as a person. If you saw her interview on her press tour,
yeah,
she's just
painful.
She thinks that all of us give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. You don't have to teach me a fucking thing. You don't know more than.
Yeah, of course. I'm not big up. Martinez. I'm not the biggest fan of her either. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not the biggest fan of her either. Zero, the biggest fan of her. But I'm not. If I'm her, I'm not having Brian Cannon and Brendan Schaub criticizing me. Other people, even random YouTubers, fair. But these guys get on their high horse and act like they can speak from a point of authority about talent or whatever else it may be. I wouldn't have it. I'm not having it if I'm her. I'm not having it.
Me, stick to entertaining people and stop with your pseudo revolutionary speeches at Hollywood galas where you are being honored, where it is.
Don't you do the same thing though? Doesn't Callum do the same thing? But he just does it at like private functions and to like mostly red people in the room. He does exactly the same thing, so I don't understand why he's trying to criticize others doing the same thing too.
Easy, where everybody is kissing your ass, everybody is congratulating you, and oh, by the way, where you're making a fuckload of money.
Ton. Also,
more than
17 people watch this.
You are a privileged American. Shut the fuck up.
She's not from America.
How about that? Get some perspective. The world doesn't revolve around you. You're a footnote.
Also,
like
go.
Brian telling anybody the world doesn't revolve around them, considering how much he doesn't like to not be on front of camera, and his refusal to just like hang it up is fucking hilarious.
Oh, go to Nigeria. Tell him your pronouns.
Imagine wearing diamonds and luxurious gown and being handed an award, then complaining about being a victim. Exactly.
Let me play this again just to see what she said in the beginning.
Proclaiming a space belongs to you.
I can't.
Proclaiming a space belongs to you, and the drama of everything she says, because she's amazing.
Brendan can't stare at another black woman again. It gives him the ick. Black women give Brendan the ick.
Taking her time and speaking so well.
Her and Ariana Grande need to fucking eat something.
Oh my god.
Powerful bunch.
Yeah, I'll pick up young old vibes.
So privileged comics should stick to entertainment and stop worrying about politics and social issues.
Exactly, madam. Exactly. 100% cosign. Exactly. Fucking exactly.
Eddie, man. I want to see him arm wrestle.
Amazing she made it through this nonsense without her emotional support human, Ariana. If you have to invent oppression, odds are good you're not oppressed.
Facts.
God. Yeah, so oppressed. Everybody feels that way.
Next one. It's kind of a funny one. I'm just waiting for you, one of you, to say it's fake.
Yeah, you know, it's not easy being able to afford groceries. All right, go on.
Chael and DC were having a little video chat, and Chael's daughter found something pretty cool.
Yeah, God,
You found a singlet? Show 'em. Have you found a singlet?
Let me
She's
see
coming
it.
to me and she's showing. Well, I'm trying. She's in the mirror right here. I think that's a wrestling singlet, sweetie.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I found it in Mom's closet.
Oh, could we please do this later? No, if you found a singlet, show him. Have you found a singlet?
You guys think this is real or fake?
Knowing Chael probably fake. Knowing Chael probably fake. He's the best though.
Yeah, he's great.
He's the best, but everything he does is fake. Great guy, never met him.
The comments were pretty good when I was scrolling down. But okay, this one was a miss. I see that. Here's a good one. So the CIA files are revealing that the search for Hitler in South America 10 years after his suicide actually did happen. So did Hitler commit suicide? We don't know, because there's all these records of the CIA not giving up looking for him.
Yeah, because they never found his body.
His burned body, right?
No,
His
they
wife?
found a body. They found his wife's body. They never found his body.
It says their bodies were partially burned and buried in a shallow bomb crater. Soviet soldiers later exhumed the remains, which the USSR identified through dental records, and held them at East Germany until the KGB agents destroyed Hitler's body in 1970, preserving only a jawbone and skull that were taken to Moscow.
Okay, cool. Anything else?
What are your thoughts, guys?
God,
So,
damn.
Russia said.
Let's fast forward a little bit. Fast forward.
China mocking how we do.
Fast forward.
Dying, and I'm tired of this, and it's on video.
I'm going to give you a news scoop. I did it. So there you have it.
You did it.
Yes, I'm confessing to a murder on camera that I've never had before.
Oh, wow.
Like, that gives me chills.
Niggas die every day, B. Niggas die every day, B.
Yeah, he's a sick bastard. Just a depraved sicko who gets off on creating suffering.
You know how many
That
people
exists.
go missing in Yellowstone and shit every year? You ever look that up?
Is that true?
I don't want
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Look up how many missing people there are in the national parks in America.
Okay, I think that's it. I think we've reached the end of this. Is there anything else coming up? Because this is brutal. It's dragging so much towards the end. Yeah, I think we've done most of it. Let's move on. Let's fucking move on, please. Let's fucking
Powerful
move on.
bunch.
Yeah, big up NJ Ranger. Appreciate you.
These MFs laugh off oppression, but cancel culture is the top issue of the day. If you're poor and complain, sour grapes. If you're rich and complain, you're privileged. These guys are lower than dog's spit.
100%, 1,000,000%. I co-sign that message 100%. Big up fucking NJ. Big up blood clot NJ. Always. Okay, cool. Let's do some Fezzify. Let's do Fezzify. Let's do this? No. Let's do Fezzify. Oh no, actually, let's do American Redact. American Redact, then we do Central C. So this is from American Redact. I think this is summarizing what happened with Rogan. So let's see Wagwan with this.
You've opened the door to quite a lot of people who've now got a big platform who have been throwing out counter-historical stuff of a very dangerous kind.
Hey, man, what do you mean comments? You mean Tfatk comments on that episode? This one here. They're usually pretty nice, to be fair. They don't really say anything crazy. Let's see. Cool spotters gay, then proceeds to tell us exactly why people should use them. Bro, I'm not one of these haters talking S for no reason in the comments. This is coming from a place of love. Brendan, you gotta let Brian get out of thought. The interrupting is literally making me not want to watch this podcast. It's a podcast between two people giving their thoughts. You already have a short show. Holy shit, man. That's a good point, actually. That's a really good. You put it in a really good way. Like, it is just a podcast between two people. Why do they interrupt each other so much? You know, like, it's just two of you. Like, you could just easily you say something, that person says something, you say something. Like, it's not that difficult. Like, two in a room and they're making it sound like a fucking festival and shit. Another one says, bro, you just proved why you need a spotter. Papa cocky, chin into Bukaki. Rinks is a horse jockey. Lakers in 5. I don't know what that's about. Papa cocky, chin into Bukaki. Rinks is a horse jockey. Lakers in 5. This show is going to straight down the shitter, right? Am I right? Is it me or are the ads getting way more frequent? Exactly. Yeah, I said the same thing. Let me like that actually, because I said the same thing. I don't mind. No, I don't need a spotter. Proceeds to fail the lift, freak out, and unevenly rack the bar. Exactly. Dear Brendan, Brian is so much smarter than you. He should be talking way more you should be talking way more to him. He doesn't really. He's a good guy and he's a smarter. You should listen to him and no more what? No more engaging conversation with him instead. Oh, engage in a normal. Have more engaged conversation with him instead of shutting everything he says down and acting like you know everything. It would make for a better podcast. Love you both. What a mess. What an absolute. I guess in this situation, I'm assuming, what's her name? I'm assuming what's her fucking name is just doing some real city girl shit. So I can't really be mad at it too much. Let me get the
25, 35 and a half.
35 and a half at the end of my workout.
Going back.
At the end of your workout.
It was deadlift day and pull-up day, and I thought, you know what? Fuck it. Let's end on 225. And I don't use spotters. I think spotters are for gays.
Are you gonna stop?
So then,
okay, cool. You gonna stop?
I did 225. And
so you'll
on,
just
on 35. The old.
Okay, there you go. It stopped. Finally. Okay, cool. Let's get back to where we were at. Let's scroll down text messages again. Oh, I've got to read them all over again. Jesus Christ. Come on, son. Do me a favor. Load properly. Cool. Let me just load properly and scroll down without putting back. The way Papa glared at the guy for trying to help him out after him making an absolute fool of himself. Yet again, another prime example of why he's universally hated. Hated. Exactly. I love how you spell hated there, by the way. Hated. That's pretty clever. Imagine defending a podcaster imagine defending a podcaster you have an imaginary friendship with from the haters. But no, the haters joking about someone the entire comedy community doesn't respect, it makes fun of, true. The way Papa glared at the guy. If you watch any other podcast, there's zero reason to watch this nowadays. That's a really good point. That's a really, really good point. If you watch any other podcast, there is zero reason to watch. Exactly. I bench press a lot. You ever heard of BTK Killer? Yeah, every Tfatk for the past year. Stupid current events, especially the last one. You should be done. Schnoz. Shut up. Wow, Sainaz has got some hate in the stream chat comments. Brendan being too cocky for a spotter, but it's just too much for me. Simmer down. Okay, cool. Interesting development there. Interesting development out there. Cool. What else is going on new in this land? We did that. We did this. Okay, cool. Let's do the. Did we do that video? We did it, right? Did we do it already? I think. Did we do American Redux? I think we did it, right? No, there we go. Let's do American Redux.
At some point, you're going to lead people down a path where they think that's the view. And that's horseshit of the most profound kind.
So, last Thursday, author and political commentator Douglas Murray appeared on the Joe Rogan show to debate Joe...
This episode is sending This episode has gone so viral, mostly because of Douglas Murray's, I would say exaggerate, but, his willingness to go out of the way to kind of keep it a book cover. So you don't share it, whatever maybe. That's the rise and fall, whatever, I think that makes a lot of sense. But hey, what do I know?
Rogan's comedian buddy Dave Smith, and I really don't think this went the way Joe wanted it to go, because instead of just having a friendly back and forth with Dave, Murray pretty much dropped an atom bomb on Joe's entire show, criticizing it for being an anti-establishment echo chamber that only platforms conspiracy theorists and pseudo-intellectuals without having any real fact-checking going on. He also called Joe out for thinking he's some kind of philosophic free thinker challenging the status quo, while most of the time he's just spreading misinformation like a wildfire to the entire world. And Douglas's main problem with this is that whenever him or his stand-up comedy goons get called out for this online, their go-to excuse is saying, "I'm just a comedian, bro."
And the problem is that because you I mean, your own platform has come about because you're a very successful comedian and much more, and you do ask questions, and you are interested. But there are a lot of people who have come along, partly I think because they've come on the show,
the T gang,
who have come along and they've decided, I can play this double game. On the one hand, I'm going to push really edgy and frankly sometimes horrific opinions. And then if you say...
Is it me or does Douglas Murray give off teacher vibes as well, by the way? Gives us very stern teacher vibes.
That's wrong. They say, I'm a comedian.
But wait a minute.
How can you tell me I'm just a comedian?
And some of the main culprits of this are guys like Andrew Schultz, Tony Hinchcliffe, and Dave Smith, who talk like they're the second coming of Socrates or Pythagoras.
There's some point at which I'm just raising questions is not a valid thing.
Exactly.
You're not raising questions. You're not asking questions. You're telling people something.
Boom.
Do you think Daryl's doing that?
I think there's a whole bunch of guys doing that.
I
I think Dave is doing that. Very obviously. Dave's a comedian.
That face will never get old to me, man. That face will never get old to me. He was so shocked. He didn't know what was going on. He was so confused. Why am I getting attacked?
But he's now mainly talking about Israel.
No, I don't know if I'm mainly talking about Israel.
That's
but
all I see you
have
on the internet
opinions.
doing.
Yeah, but that's you.
Well, that
just,
might be what you've seen.
It's
but
just
I don't
you
think that's.
consuming
But
clips.
that is also your shtick now, isn't it?
You consuming clips. I love how they act like they have way more nuanced, interesting conversations when you listen to the whole episode. When really the clips that we see online of these guys kind of accurately summarizes what they think or don't think about a situation, or accurately depicts what they think or don't think of a scenario or whatever it may be. I love Rogan, isn't it? Like you're getting fucking duped by clips is fucking hilarious. Considering how many clips he has out there too.
Isn't it?
Well, what do you mean by that's my shtick?
Well, you're not a geopolitics guy in general, are you?
I don't even know exactly what you're asking.
But that message didn't quite land, and both Rogan and Smith seemed to interpret Murray's point as a call for censorship, as if Murray was saying that people like Dave Smith aren't allowed to have opinions unless they're credentialed experts. That misinterpretation led Dave into a long-winded rant about how he never trusted the experts during the COVID-19 pandemic, which at this point feels like such a tired talking point.
I'm still slightly bemused about this move from I'm an expert on this and I have views to I'm a comedian.
I've never claimed to be an expert on anything.
This is the problem, Joe. I mean, if somebody
Wait a minute,
says
you have to claim to be an expert on something to have an opinion on something?
No, you don't have to be. You don't have to be. But
So what's
this is
the
like
issue?
I'm not a historian, but I'm pumping out history.
But wait a minute,
I'm
what
not
about
an expert,
just-
but I'm talking all the time about
But
this
you're not
thing.
even talking about specifically on what he just said.
Exactly. I love that. I love it. Big up Douglas Murray. Let's go back again one more moment. That was good. He was getting so frustrated. I love it. Big up Douglas Murray.
If somebody
Wait a minute,
says
you have to claim to be an expert on something to have an opinion on
no,
something?
you don't have to be. You don't have to be. But
So what's
this is
the
like
issue?
I'm not a historian.
Yeah, big up Noodles. Yeah, you know it, brother. We're out here, bro. We're trying to get our family. I'm trying to get me and my 7 kids and my dog and my cat up from the grasp of poverty. You know, that's what we're trying to do. And the way that we do it, smash that like button, hit subscribe. Whoever's watching, if you want me to fly like a phoenix up and away, smash like, hit subscribe. Thank you.
Historian, but I'm pumping out history.
But wait a minute,
I'm
what
not
about
an expert,
just-
but I'm talking all the time about
But
this
you're not
thing.
even talking about specifically on what he just said.
No, I'm saying this is my point about this. You say I'm not an expert.
So what's the solution? To not talk about it?
No, it's to have more experts around.
No, the expert
To
class
hear-
hasn't done a great job,
I know,
man. This is follow the science.
absolutely,
Yeah, but you know what?
absolutely, I
Okay, so
agree
fine.
with
So
that.
during,
I just said
okay,
to you,
so-
I agree
right,
with that.
Right, I know.
But
So
one
Douglas,
of the problems
during
is,
all of COVID,
fire away.
I will put my track record against any of the expert class on COVID.
Hey, Chris Mack. More respect on Christopher Hitchens' name, brother. I don't want you. Don't spread no rumors about Christopher Hitchens sucking of who? Douglas Murray. Is that actually true? Oh, I don't want to hear that, bro. I don't want to hear that. Please, I love Christopher Hitchens, man. Fucking legend. What you call it? R.I.P. Christopher Hitchens. Gone too soon.
COVID, I'm glad to do that. So should I have just shut up? Should I have shut up by opposing lockdowns and opposing vaccine mandates and talking
that
about
was
the
the
lab leak
argument at the
theory?
time. You realize
that's the
right?
entire argument that you're making. Let the experts handle
I'm
this.
Not. No.
You're not an expert. You're right. I was just a comedian.
You're wildly not listening to what I'm saying.
But as the episode continued, Murray repeatedly tried to clarify what he was saying. Like he wasn't telling Dave or Joe to stop speaking on complex issues. He was simply asking them to balance those discussions by bringing in opposing views.
But they don't think experts are necessary. That's what we're coming down to. Doug Murray was like American Rick was pointing out, was basically saying, can you just get more experts involved in the conversation? But they don't think it's necessary. They don't think more experts are gonna say anything worthwhile. That's why we got them.
And taking more care with the information being shared. Kind of like when Joe had Graham Hancock on to debate Flint Dibble, which made for an excellent archaeological debate and really gave fans a view on the different perspectives in archaeology. But again, Smith didn't really listen to him, and instead he got caught up in the semantics of what Murray was saying, arguing more about how Murray phrased things rather than about the substance of what he was saying.
Yeah, I think it's weird to mainstream very fringe.
Powerful bunch.
Constantly.
Hey, yo, big up, big up.
Dave sucks, but this bum. PhD in English, not history.
That's a good point. You see how hard it is nowadays with podcasting. Even though Douglas Murray's making a good point, it's hard to root for him because he comes across like a bit of a smarmy cunt anyway, right? Douglas Murray comes across a bit of a smarmy cunt. He's a bit of an Israeli apologist and shit. So it's a bit hard to root for him, but you got to take your wins where you got to take your wins, you know? You got to take your wins where you got to take your wins. At least somebody was able to put some pressure on Joe, call him out, call out Dave Smith, call out the comedian class in general. It was good. It was necessary. It's just we can't pick our savior, you know? We can't pick our saviors.
And not give another side. I think that's weird.
Well, I mean, I think there's a little bit of a contradiction here. You're saying now that these are fringe views, but then you're also saying that these are enormously powerful views.
No. There's
so
no contradiction. Let me clear it up if you think there is. I think there are very fringe views that have become...
He's so catty, in it. No. There's no contradiction. There's no confusion. I have a PhD in English, sir. I studied the works of Chaucer. I studied the works of Shakespeare. You know, there is no confusion in my words. Let me clarify so you understand exactly what I'm trying to say, down to the minute detail.
Mainstreamed on the right.
There is no caps in my raps, as they say.
But then aren't they not fringe by definition?
Sure, you can play an epistemological game.
I'm just saying let's be accurate.
You do understand the concept, don't you?
That fringe ideas become...
epistemological. You do understand, right? You basically called him a dummy, innit? You basically called him a dummy here. You do understand, right? Are we speaking the same language?
Streamed on the right.
But then aren't they not fringe by definition?
Sure, you can play an epistemological game.
I'm just saying let's be accurate.
But you do understand the concept, don't you?
That fringe idea.
He's such a cunt. Douglas Murray's such a fucking condescending cunt. I love him.
He has become mainstreamed.
Yeah.
Okay,
right.
Sure.
So that's it.
Okay. I'm not exactly sure. So you're saying that what Joe shouldn't have Daryl?
So you're saying
powerful bunch.
Yeah, big up Asad Aziz.
Pip pip cheerio fellow gays. But Sir Dave, regarding Israel, have you ever been? Bean cheese.
That is so genius. That is so genius. Israel. Ukraine, have you ever been? That is so good. Oh my god, that was so good. Big up Asad Aziz, that was so fucking good. Have you ever been to be? Oh my eyes, oh my eyes, oh. Bean. Yo, big up Assad Aziz, absolute legend.
Earl Cooper
No,
on.
I'm
or
saying that
he should debate.
that there will have that if you mainstream very very fringe views, which are easily able to be debunked, if you mainstream them, at some point that view that was so fringe will be what eager, very disconnected, unhappy people are going to start playing with too. And if these people are such experts in how you see a society go weird, they can look at what is happening to a portion of the right everywhere on this stuff. There is a portion of the right across the West that is playing this very dark game, and they're doing it deliberately, and you can't not be aware of that.
Okay, big up Chris Mack. I met Dave twice. Spoke to him for a few minutes each time. He's a nice guy. I think he mostly means well. Same with the co-host Robbie, who was really cool in real life. However, neither in text was. Yeah, I get that. Most of these guys are okay like that, but it's just, you know, when you're wrapped up in this sort of stuff like 24/7, 7 days a week, it becomes a lot. It can sometimes fuck with you. It can sometimes fuck with your perception. It can somehow just fuck with your behavior, fuck with your fucking how you come across in general. So I'm sure away from the cameras, these guys are all cool, but I understand. To be fair, in this scenario, I understand everyone's frustration. I understand where Douglas Murray's coming from. I understand why Dave Smith is feeling offended and attacked. I also get where Joe Rogan's coming from. I think everyone has got a right to feel how they feel. It's just a shame that in general, Rogan isn't really kind of realizing the point that Douglas Murray's trying to make, which is, yeah, cool, get those people in, have wacky ideas, but it feels like Joe Rogan lately has been all about platforming a lot of conspiracy theorists and not really going out of your way to kind of have people on who kind of know what they're talking about to a really deep level and getting them to sit down and talk, you know? It's just always about something else, so that's a problem. And I'm assuming too there's only so much time in the day. I'm sure he'll get around to it in general, but I think that's the only thing that I saw that was a bit, you know, a bit wild. Let's go.
So the conversation quickly became frustrating to watch. On one hand, viewers praised Douglas Murray for standing his ground, and even people who don't align with him politically admitted that his criticism sparked one of the most memorable and intense moments in the show's history. On the other hand, though, Murray didn't really walk away from the episode unscathed, and many people online criticized him for coming off as arrogant, condescending, and even hypocritical, like he completely contradicted himself a bunch of times during this podcast, especially when Murray questioned Dave Smith's right to speak about Israel, pointing out that Dave had never even visited the country, so he has
Look how proud of himself he is. Look how proud of himself he is in Israel with the fucking press bulletproof vest on. He's so proud of himself. Look at him. Real journalist, really in the field, real skin of the game. Big up Nassim Nicholas Taleb.
no right to talk about it, which is absolutely insane since people dug up an interview he did years before this one where he says that that's just a complete non-argument, and playing them side by side really makes Douglas Murray look like an absolute doorknob.
Have you been to the crossing points? I really resent that form of argumentation. When were you last there at all?
Sure.
I really resent it. You should at least do the courtesy of visiting it. This is not an attractive invitation. I think it's a good idea to see stuff, particularly if you spend a career talking about something. I have the right to talk about whatever the hell I want. And no one's going to stop me or try to intimidate me. And I think that if I said to somebody else the other way around, it would be equally reprehensible. I have a journalistic rule of trying never to talk about a country even in passing unless I've at least been there. If I said, shut up, you have no right to criticize anything that Douglas Murray says because... Hang on, you're talking about crossing points. And not only have you never been to a crossing point in either Egypt or in Israel, but you've never even been to the region. Okay, it's not an exact comparison, but seriously, is that a reasonable form of argument? No. In that case, nobody can talk about anything. We might as well pack up, go home and isolate ourselves. If you're insisting that you're an expert of some kind, or not claiming you're an expert, but still talking about it, if you've never seen any of this going on. I mean, there are some people who've written about there are people who've written about the Holocaust who didn't experience the Holocaust and have written about it better than people who did. But that is a different matter from spending an awfully long amount of time.
Powerful bunch.
Yeah, Abe Martinez.
At what point do you get up and slap a hoe for the zesty?
You don't want to do it because you know if you do it, automatically you lose the argument. Automatically, any argument you are about to win, any point you're trying to make is completely gone. And you also don't want to show the person they're getting under your skin that much, you know? Sometimes getting physical can be quite satisfying, but it can sometimes come across like you're way more hurt, you're way more offended, you know what I mean? You're way more upset than you actually probably are, you know? Like, let your ego get bruised, let your ego get kicked a bit, and then respond in jest. So I think Dave Smith did pretty well, I'm not going to lie. Dave Smith did well to show restraint and not get snarky or nasty or petty back. He did well.
Talking about an issue in a region you haven't even had the courtesy to visit whilst developing all of these views about it.
This idea that the lived experience has to triumph over everything else is not always correct.
Should at least know what it is, what the territory is, what the situation is in the region.
So there's an irony to this, but let's skate over the irony.
So yeah, even though I think Murray did a good job at calling Joe out at the beginning of the show, I think he kind of squandered that small victory by saying what he said afterwards. So overall, no, I don't think there was any clear winner. In fact, I found that most of this debate was almost impossible to listen to. But I do love the shitstorm that it brewed online. So do sound off in the comments down below.
I'm the same. Nothing of use nothing of use came out of it, right? But I do like the chaos it's created for sure. Especially somebody coming up to Rogan and saying what Douglas Murray said in the first 10 minutes. That was super important. Because I don't think he's ever had anybody in real life say that to him. So it was good to have like somebody that he deems to be a friend, a colleague, whatever, come on there and say that. Because he had no idea. He was kind of, almost taken aback. But it's glad that was his kind of maybe, his peek into how it is living out there in the real world and shit. So big up that situation. Big up that situation. Okay, cool. Let's move on. So I've got my tea here. Bear with me a second. Take this little sip here. Eee, that's hot. Who would have guessed it? Who would have guessed tea is hot? Let's do a little bit of Central C, courtesy of Tfatk. This is a pretty sad one. I'm not gonna lie. This is a pretty sad one. This is courtesy of Tfatk. Central C's friend is speaking out again. Essentially, Central C's got a friend, this guy here called Bambino, who unfortunately got left behind when Central C blew up and became one of the biggest rap stars here in the UK. And this kid Bambino is now doing interviews essentially trashing Central C and saying, hey, he didn't help me, he didn't do this, he didn't do that. And what I can take away from it is that, even if what he's saying is true, he just sounds like a crybaby complaining. He needs to just like get in the booth, record more music and hope for the best. But it is a tale as old as time, innit? You come up with some people and then when you only cross over and you become a real big star, you ditch them. I don't know what to think. Let's play the clip anyway. Big up Tfatk.
Yo B, yo G, been calling you since 3:30. Sorry, I was with a ting busy when you phoned me.
At one point it almost seemed like Central C on his come up was going for a duo situation. Bambino here and Cairo Keys is another one, but just recently in numerous interviews Bambino has been calling them out.
Hey, big up Young God Vibes, what a legend, what a queen. Big up Young God Vibes. Appreciate you. Big up Young God Vibes for the 5-member bomb. One absolute legend. Appreciate you. Merci beaucoup.
Powerful bunch.
Merci beaucoup, madame, for the 5 membership bomb. Anybody that gets a 5 membership, everyone that gets a gifted membership, make sure you thank the legend that is Young God Vibe in the stream chat. Please make sure you thank Young God Vibes in the stream chat. You're a legend.
Powerful bunch.
Central C has already addressed this guy on the recent album he dropped, which we're going to get into at a later part in this video.
The way he moves now is me. If you see him five, yeah.
Culture, that's kind of what kids be complaining about, yeah.
Yeah, it's me. The way he acts is me. The way he portrays himself
ran out with your whole persona.
He took my whole everything, but he don't know how to do it. He needs me there to say, no, like you still have to grow in it.
Right.
So he's me 5 years ago.
Right.
Powerful bunch.
Yeah, it's still now. Right. I was his muscle. I was his source.
Think of it.
He was like his image also, like kind of like how they Trap Lil Ross, and we'll get to that. Kind of equated it to 6ix9ine. How 6ix9ine, when you see the video, you seen all those bloods behind him. When you see Central C, you see. So you were part of the reason why they were even in that video. Is basically what.
Yeah, but yeah. But as soon as he got money, he tried. No, but I was, as much as I was the muscle, I was the source. The source is the mindset.
Now, Central C and Bambino.
That's the sad thing about being a dude, isn't it? Like, the annoying thing about being a guy is that you can't really complain like that. You're always gonna sound like a bitch, you know? You're always gonna sound mad entitled. You're always gonna sound away. It's never gonna come across the way you think it is, because he could be right. He could be right in saying that he was the one responsible for Central C, and the reason why he looks and acts and talks the way he does now is because of me. He left me behind. But it's like, even if that's true, let's just imagine he's telling the truth. What now then? Let's say Central C did take your whole shit. What now? Like, what do you want us to do? What do you want him to do? He took your shit. He doesn't want to give it back. What do you do now?
Still have a few songs on YouTube and probably didn't hit the nail on the head on what Central C's vision was for his career. The Black Box only got 35,000 even after all this attention, and 144,000 on the mixtape Madness, with the X in between like they was doing a duo act. Central C has gone on to find out the formula that works for him and absolutely blew up after Day in the Life. That was his big break. But now Bambino is saying he hasn't put on anyone that Central C didn't want to help any of his day one friends and left them behind.
Friends will change on you, money won't. Love will get you killed, somehow the hating won't.
Name one person that he's put on. Bro.
So, do you feel like he knew that he was supposed to be looking out and just didn't, or he just didn't have any recollection that, like, hey, you're supposed to be paying their bills and, getting in vehicles and, taking care of them?
No, it's not paying the bills. Giving opportunity.
Oh yeah.
Okay, just putting you on, like, but hey, you're talented too.
Yeah, like, push.
Let
me push him. If he gets, like, he could have said, all right, cool. If he could be smart, he could say, if this guy gets bigger than me, I can get 50% of his. But he can't even fathom off it.
But that's where you flopped, innit? Bigger than him. Like, I wonder why in music that's the case. Like, I've always wondered why in music there is this mindset. I think in business it doesn't work that way, right? In business, like, imagine if your friend starts a business and you're helping them out. It's pretty clear that your friend is the brains. Your friend is the one that started the thing and you're just helping them out. You've got a nice little cushy job. You get paid. You get to hang out with your friend. But I think for some reason in music, there's not an acceptance. I think there are some great number twos, but there's not a lot of acceptance of like, okay, this person's a star and I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that this person's good. And whatever I can do to help them along the way, because they are the main breadwinner. They are the main star of this group. If they do well, it will inevitably help my career, but it's not likely I'm going to become bigger than them, or I'm going to, or I'm going to be an equal of theirs. I'm always going to be the number one, number two, which is a good place to be because you're still within the inner circle. You're still behind closed doors. But I guess this kid thought he deserved to be as big as Central C, if not bigger, which is already where he fucking flopped, to be honest.
Or even, like, say how, like, Young Thug with Gunna, before whatever the situation, apparently, like, he signed him a deal, he wasn't even making, like, I don't know, but he wasn't taking royalties or nothing of Gunna.
That's a bad example, though, because before Gunna snitched, the whole thing why everybody loved Gunna was that he had an insane work rate. He had an insane work ethic. He was always in the studio. He was always dropping tunes, always jumping on features, putting out videos, projects. He was relentless with it. So it really didn't matter if it was, because, for obviously the Young Thug connection helped, but I don't think it was that important. Like, he was grinding. He was always talented anyway. He offered something different. So that's why he blew. So this guy thinking, all it takes is Central C putting him in the studio. All it takes is him making one phone call and he's suddenly going to be this big star. Is fucking insane. You still have to work, man. You still have to work.
It's just putting him, bro. If he gets bigger, I'll just jump on songs with him. You get?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you're looking at it like, this is my brother. This is my man. So all we got to do is just play the 1-2 man game.
But
Put me on a feature.
He's not black. So
Right.
he don't. So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Nah, you can't start doing the he's not black thing. That guy was your friend. That guy was your fucking ride or die. He was your homie back in the day. And all of a sudden, because it didn't work out, you're now starting to do the whole fucking race card thing. Nah, that's lame. That's lame.
That's why I have a little sympathy for him because he actually doesn't know.
Right.
He don't. He's clueless.
I think the main artist you would say Central C's tried to put on is A2 Anti. Live Yours is the record label and you can see numerous videos, and Curbs is on there a lot as well. Central C's record label is called Live Yours. It seems at one point Bambino on these solo videos had that in the front of his videos as well as an intro, so they were still trying to do something to push his career at the start, but it didn't work out the way that Bambino obviously wanted it to work out. In the initial interviews that Bambino had done, he'd expressed the falling out was over him not getting a feature from Central C when he needed it. If Central C gave him a feature on one song, it would have put Bambino onto a record deal, but Central C at the time was saying every move is strategic, he has to release the right things.
Which is a smart thing to say. Like, I don't know, man. There's too much entitlement from this kid. I'm like, I actually believe what he's saying. I think most likely what he's saying is true, and Central C took a lot of his swag because I did watch that Traplo Ross documentary on Central C. And one thing that Traplo Ross, Traplo Ross, whatever his fucking name is, one thing that I came away from that documentary thinking was that Central C's been grinding. He's not an industry plant. Like, if you watch that Traplo Ross documentary, you will see that Central C is definitely not an industry plant. He's been grinding for years. He's had several sound changes over the years he's been trying to blow. And then, you know, he finally got to his current sort of like sound and persona that's working well for him. But he's been trying to do this for Ting for a while when it comes to, like, you know, clothes and whatever else it may be. So I think this kid just wasn't willing to do the work, wasn't willing to grind, to work his way up. He just incorrectly, probably, maybe due to lack of information, lack of experience, he really did think that, you know, Central C could make one phone call and change his life. And it's not like that. It would be nice if that was how life worked, but most likely you still have to put the work in. And then when the opportunity comes around, you meet it, you know? That's why people say, you know, you have to be prepared for the opportunity you're going to get in the future and shit, blah, 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 blah. But this kid sounds way too entitled for me.
Like, turn up. Yeah, so yeah, that's how you meant.
Mm-hmm. So how was your relationship with Centr? How was your relationship with him? How close were you actually? Was it just a musical relationship? Or was it like, yeah, that's my guy, he can come to my yard type shit? You know what I mean?
No, that was my guy, like my twin, like my brother. I could call him my brother. Like, I know his pops, he knows my pops. Like, our brother, I know his family, he knows my family. Like,
this guy's done a few interviews in the UK now. I actually was going to have him on my platform at one point. He had an interesting story. I didn't know he was going to go this way of completely out in Central C. Initially, it was just UK interviews, and now he's moved on to US as well. Some damage his US market is taking Central.
By the way, that's kind of wild, though. The fact that he's going to America, like, he's doing this on purpose. Like, he's going to America because Traplo Ross is obviously big over there as well. But not a lot of people know about Central C's background. So a lot of American hip-hop fans have found out about Central C's origin story through that documentary of Traplo Ross. So this kid's kind of capitalizing on that, jumping on that wave, so he can obviously build his profile and get himself out there. But it doesn't look good optic-wise because, you know, Central C was his friend at one point, and now he's literally doing world tours talking bad on the guy because he didn't make a phone call to kind of get him signed or something. It's like, bro, come on. No one's responsible for where you're at except yourself, my friend.
You'll see, especially after that Traplo Ross video as well. On a song called I Don't Know Anymore, he responded to Bambino by saying, I dropped a tape and got 1 billion streams and none of them even features. Now my brethren dissed me trying to go viral because he ain't blown yet. How's that my fault? I thought you was Christian. Why don't you move like Matthew, Philip, disciple? But you on Snake Man and move like Judas because you ain't blue yet. It's a fucking vile. And we're in London, better opportunity. It's not like we live in Ohio. I put hotels and flights to all these shows and brought you to all these countries. Say thank you and pretend you're grateful, but when I turn my back you say F me. Whole 6 months living at your mum's. He was with Big Bro go on our own. It was us three. Shouldn't ever bite the hand that feeds you. I left man starving cause you're too hungry. I said that I got you but you didn't trust me. I would have but you didn't give me a chance. You can ask the man them now if I've left them in the dark. What's meant to be will be. I can't turn back time or dwell on the past, but sometimes I wonder, could I have got this far without losing my dog? Many people wasn't sure if that was aimed at Cairo Keys. Well, another friend that he fell out with after he blew up. Cairo Keys is also doing his thing, but Bambino said it's definitely him. He grew up religious and them lyrics were related to him.
Which is kind of, that those lyrics were pretty poignant and basically told the whole story. It sounds like Bambino, this Bambino kid was just too hasty, you know? He didn't, you know, and it probably is hard to hear from your friend, like just this, not right now, not right now. We need to be strategic, right? It's probably hard to hear your friend that you grew up with suddenly start big timing you, stalling you, leaving your messages unopened, leaving you unseen, not replying back for a couple of days, airing your phone calls. It can be hard, but like that's what I said, where I just can't understand how these guys don't play their position. They don't just think, okay, cool, this guy is the star. Let me do everything that I can to help the star, and then hopefully along the way that might help me. Where it feels like they're actually in there competing with the star, you know, which is insane really when you think about it. But I guess everyone's got a different way to deal with these type of situations.
He reacted to it on an interview as well.
Time or dwell on the past, but I sometimes wonder, could have I got this far without losing my dog?
Now he's told his story is one thing, he can go two ways. Obviously he can benefit a little bit off the hype, his TikTok is picked up in views. Some people in the comments saying let's really help this guy and they empathize with his situation. But if he continues doing more and more interviews each time, he's going to be called more of a hater. Exactly. Cairo Keys, I feel like had a situation with Central C, he didn't overdo the hype around it and it's ended up working out for it.
Just make more music, man.
It was said that in 2023, Central C signed a $25 million deal with Columbia Records for 2 projects. And
that's why they're really mad, by the way. If those numbers are true, that's insane. That's insane that if those numbers are true. 25 mil for 2 projects. He's already dropped 1 already. Can't rush greatness. 25 mil for 2 albums is insane money. That probably explains why his friends are like, you know, literally shouting from the rooftops for anyone to hear. You know, that Central C didn't hold them down. Central C didn't bring them in. Central C abandoned them. I get why they're saying that, because they were in the trenches with this kid. Then they blinked and then boom, he's become the biggest thing since, you know, whatever. So I can understand why they're upset, but still, that's not his fault. You know what I mean? The game is a game, bro. The game is a fucking game.
The joint venture agreement with Sony Music UK allowed him to retain ownership of his recordings. Apparently, the deal followed a bidding war from the market. Bambino's definitely got some attention out of this situation from TikTok, so now it's up to him what he's going to do with it and try and make something out of his own music career. I actually reached out to him on Instagram to see if Central C reached out to him, and he said he did say yo, but they never got into a conversation after that message. When I made a video just recently about Central C and Cairo Keys actually commented on my video and removed it, saying they both come from nothing and it's not that deep. But obviously, Cairo Keys now is blowing up and making good money out of music, whereas Bambino probably feels like he sees Central C in the spotlight and feels like he's kind of missed out on what happened.
I think he was dropping something at the time, and then my man wasn't really like sharing it and that, how like pushing it how Cairo wanted it. So yeah, I understand. But not that, like, even one time, even with man, even my first 2 songs that I dropped, that when I wasn't even supposed to drop, I dropped it. He like didn't push it, but he just reposted it. Then the other ones he stopped reposting it because he showed me like just posting is money. So it's like him posting me is like 50 bags worth. So it's like it's not what I think. I might think it's just someone posting it, but he's saying nah, this is every post is something. I don't know if he's trying to tang me or yeah, but that's what he was saying. So I think that's what I'm trying to say. I clocked it was just more about the business than actual helping niggas out.
It's a similar situation.
It's just, I don't know. There's nothing more to say about this. It's kind of sad. I think the kid is a little bit dumb as well. I think not to be offensive to the kid, but I don't think he's this, you know, the sharpest tool in the shed. So I think that probably hasn't helped his navigating of the music industry. But I just think it's like really sad and upsetting that these kids don't recognize the opportunity they're given, and instead are too preoccupied of like what they can get out of it for themselves. without realizing that if they facilitate, if they do everything in their power to maybe step aside or put their dreams on pause or to the side and help Central Seam do his thing, later on down the line, it could help you in several ways. Maybe you change careers. Maybe it's now you're an interior designer. Maybe you get into other things. Maybe you get into furniture removal, whatever it may be. It can happen down the line, but you got to have an ability to kind of see where you kind of land on the, on the hierarchical scale. And I think a lot of these guys, unfortunately, when they get around these big dudes, because they see them rap and see them put together projects, they're like, oh shit, I can do that. I can do that way better, that sort of kind of vibe. So I think that more is probably happening here. But the other thing to also mention as well is just, I don't know, it's just sad how this happens, isn't it, so often. Why does it happen so often where like people start with a small group of people, small group of friends, you're grafting, you're splitting sandwiches and shit to kind of make it happen. And then it comes a point at some age, don't know what age it is for everyone's different, late 20s, early 30s, late 30s. I mean, everyone's got a different age. But somehow those people that you kind of relied on, who are like your OGs, or your original friends and shit, the ones that you kind of really were all about, suddenly now you're not talking to them anymore. Or there's animosity there, there's hatred there. Like, how does that happen? That's a really sad thing about it. Like, how does that fucking happen? It's so fucking annoying. People can't just like, get along and shit. But hey, what can you do? What can you do? Big up Bambino, big up Central C, and hopefully everyone kind of lands on their feet, innit? Hopefully everyone lands on their feet. Hopefully everyone lands on their feet. Let's continue. Big up American Redac. Russell Brand is unbelievably cooked. Yeah, I agree, by the way. I agree. Russell Brand is unbelievably cooked. Let's check this out.
I'm here with my new best friend right here. My new best friend. Hello. Rusty Rocket.
Wow, man. Look at him. Look at that. Diddy and fucking, what's his name? Russell Brand on the fucking PJ. Of course. Of course.
Russell Brand is facing 4 unique charges, and the most serious of them is rape. That has a penalty of up to life in prison. But sexual assault, for example, is also a serious charge where the maximum is up to 10 years in prison.
I was a fool, man. I was a fool before I lived in the light of the Lord. I was a drug addict, a sex addict, and an imbecile. But what I never was a racist.
It looks like Russell Brand's time as a pseudo-intellectual cult leader is finally over. Because, as you just saw, he was recently charged in...
That's a good description of Chris D'Elia. A pseudo-intellectual tribe leader is fucking hilarious.
Court on 4 separate, very serious offenses, all of which have to do with him allegedly violating multiple women back in the mid-2000s.
Wow.
But since the trial won't happen until the beginning of May now, Russell Brand, in the meantime, is frantically trying to save his reputation on his podcast, spewing to his alt-right audience the same BS that most right-wing grifters do when they're charged with serious sexual offenses.
Most, the allegations, just so you know, the charges, in fact, relate to events between 1999 and 2004. You probably won't even have heard of me until, I don't know, 2005, 2006. Remember when I was talking openly about the coronavirus and the corruption during the coronavirus era and how the media...
for fuck's sake, we're bored of this topic, man. God almighty, move on.
Lied to us and shamed us and tried to control us, how companies like Pfizer and Moderna made record profits, how the UK inquiry into COVID was tepid. It's interesting to me that once I was on the radar of the deep state and many of their affiliates within media, because the media...
He thinks the deep state's after him. Oh, I love it. I love it. I miss this guy so much.
And the government are not separate entities.
I mean, this guy might be the biggest bullshitter known to man, and it's pretty obvious that he's in a huge state of panic right now, because his words are just all over the place. Like, he even admits that he probably did some terrible things back in his heyday, because before he made his switch to Christianity, he lived a very hedonistic lifestyle. You know, back when him and Diddy were getting cozy together on the private jets.
And I'm going to address as best I can the charges of sexual assault and rape in the UK that have been made against me. What I feel when looking at it with my heart as open as I can manage is that knowing that there are people that to whatever degree and for whatever reason willing to participate in a venture of this nature means that I recognise that I must have in some ways caused harm. In those giddy and hedonistic days, those ludicrous dark days, those days where I was part of a cult.
What the fuck's bro talking about? Honestly, what the fuck is bro talking about right now?
Culture that then seemed to warmly applaud and celebrate Epicureanism, the relentless pursuit of pleasure, a kind of casual godlessness.
Uses big words and gives a definition of it. I love Russell Brand. I love him. He uses super big words and then gives you a dictionary for them. Oh my god, hilarious.
The kind of godlessness that leads to the erection, forgive the word, of false gods everywhere. When I was in that world, I must have been captured by a kind of darkness. I couldn't have been more clear that I was out there having sex with anybody who wanted to. And let me tell you, when you're a famous guy, people are up for it. People are up for it. I got to be honest with you, that was part of the reason I even bothered becoming.
Oh, but I thought he was about to say I got a big dick. I thought he was about to say, to be honest, I got a big dick as well. So I thought he was going to say.
I was out there having sex with anybody who wanted to. And let me tell you, when you're a famous guy, people are up for it. People are up for it. I got to be honest with you, that was part of the reason I even bothered becoming famous. Up for it. People are up for it. I got to be honest with you, that was part of the reason I even bothered becoming famous in the first place, because I thought this will be a glorious opportunity for hedonistic adventure. Surely then, my...
Big up Boba Fett, AZ. What up? Love you, bro. You should start a cult. Yeah, for sure. The freshest cult out, bro. I have the freshest cult out. Let's be real. The freshest cult out. But yeah. What can you do? What can you do? Score predictions. Nah, I don't give a fuck about score predictions. Okay, cool. Let's move on. So did a bit of Russell Brand. He's redacted and he's fucking cooked. I think he is. He's trying to hit it. I guess you have to do this because your fans are asking questions too, right? It's not just easy to fucking orders. It's actual fans with boxes who are afraid are really, you know, not going to do that. So let's play this one. Let's finish this.
My life will mean something. Surely I can find some value in the comfort of strangers. Surely I can lose myself in endless pleasure.
I mean, the guy's a genius at sounding deep without saying a single thing that actually makes sense. He's basically a smart guy for people who don't read. And even if the charges against him turn out to be false, we all still know he's a slimeball womanizer. Like, just look at any interview of him around the time these charges were to take place.
Breeze, are you wearing one of your own bras? I mean, I know it's your bra, just sure you didn't.
Yeah, big up NJ.
Oh wow, that's cool, Russ. So why don't you go off to a monastery? What was that? BC, you love money? Let me remind you of one of my favorite lines of scripture. You can't serve God and mammon.
Exactly. Great scripture. Great Paul. Big up NJ.
Nick it from a public lavvy. I mean, are you in a bra designed by you now?
No, but I'm wearing my knickers.
Get them off.
Okay.
TV back in the day was fun, bro. It was fun, but it was definitely wouldn't happen nowadays.
There won't be a point where I go, oh, don't. There'll be a point where I go, go on in.
Don't get me wrong, this stuff didn't age well, but back then I would laugh at this sort of stuff. I'd find this stuff so humorous. I'd find it so cheeky. I'd find it so whatever. It's only later on down the line that you find out, you know, these sort of interactions, even for the women involved, many years have passed. You know, they don't look back at them with fondness. Really, they kind of see it as an issue. You know, but hey, what do you do? What do I know? Let's continue.
Come on! Everyone does it. Don't be afraid of your own sexuality. Do be a bit afraid of mine, though.
It's like you're a man slut.
Hold on a minute. That's pejorative.
There's an award named after you.
There is actually.
Serial Shagger. The Russell Brand Serial Shagger Award.
Yes, that is actually true, but that's on the basis of an incident that happened in a supermarket aisle with me and some Frosties.
So yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I'm gonna go ahead and say that this isn't just the deep state trying to take him down because he's a martyr of free speech. I mean, he completely fell off the map when he shifted into the right-wing pipeline.
Powerful bunch!
No one really even thinks.
Yeah, big old Sub-Z.
This reminds me of a great scripture from Bossman Deal. Oh, she don't want no little puppy, she want a big dog. Wash my clothes the other day and found a tin ball. Anyways, this guy's a grapist.
Bossman D-Lo's scriptures, I fucking love it. Bossman D-Lo's scriptures, I fucking love it. Oh, big up US Aussies. I was thinking with this picture here, right? How many have Russell Brand's super lefty? I'd imagine if you're like super, I don't imagine if you are, likely there's a few flipping, whatever else they put in there. But yeah, what an interesting situation. And I'm assuming this was also some sort of like men's camp as well. So just about saving help it was also about, making sure man's gone again. Come on, load, you can't.
Thinks about him now. And yet he acts like he's some kind of whistleblower who's on the run from the government. All he really is a master manipulator. Like the day he was officially charged by the prosecutors, he released a pretty creepy and manipulative video on his Instagram denying all of the accusations, and it's pretty clear that he's mastered his manipulation tactics.
Firstly, thank you for these incredible and overwhelming messages of support. We're very fortunate in a way to live in a time where there's so little trust in the British government. We're very fortunate, I suppose, that this is happening at a time where we know that the law has become a kind of weapon to be used against people,
Only guilty niggas say stuff like this, Only guilty people come out with such kookamania ideas like this.
Institutions and sometimes entire nations that will not accept and tolerate levels of corruption that are unprecedented. I'm speaking particularly to those of you that are watching this in the UK. How do you feel about your legal system right now? How do you feel about some of the high-profile cases that are not being pursued and prosecuted? How do you feel that
I don't feel much, to be fair. Teaching or imparting onto the younger
Powerful
generation.
bunch.
Yeah, big up, Abe Martinez, appreciate you.
Literally always knew / thought he was creepy fug.
Oh, really? Okay, I was just about to cut that. I was literally just about to get to that. Big up Abe Martinez. You literally took the words out of my mouth. I was literally just about to get to that. But I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, Abe Martinez is right about the hat, or just in general demeanor. I wasn't really sold on that. I could be honest. I really did buy into the whole, like, life is a trip, playing to receipts, and expose people type of thing. That might have been the affair. I'm not really too sure. But all in all, I think some of these videos, some of these rants he's doing are having the adverse effect of like just not going quiet and just chilling out, They're having the adverse effect. Who knew? Who bloody knew? Cool. We did that. Let's switch over to a little bit of what have we done here? We got some DSP, haven't we? Do you have some DSP? We got Snot Hogan. E1 trying to expose Tion Wayne. We don't want to do that one. The Fight Banana Show. I don't know what that is. Oh yeah, there we go. There's that Brendan interview, right? Yeah, cool. Let's watch a bit of that Brendan interview then. It's a new interview Brendan did with some guy called Fight Bananas. So I think it's a new channel.
The moment has arrived. I pushed the button. It's go.
Powerful bunch.
Yeah, big up Young God Vibes. Appreciate you. I blame Katy Perry. All her exes are insane. Johnny Lewis. Exactly, that's a good point. Russell is a rapist and she is like in space. It's all good. Yeah, that's a really good point. She definitely has some sort of voodoo. But I don't know, man. I think just to end the fucking Russell Brand stuff, I don't think he was always like that. Something happened. He was always a cheeky chappy on news things, which we all love to watch and see, especially being teenagers who couldn't speak to girls in the first place, and seeing that happening. But it's just a way, like, he doesn't fuck with it at all. He's tried everything, doesn't fuck with it. It's just funny how that works out. Anyway, let's go back to the video.
It's gonna work. This is gonna be scary good, man. I'm sorry. We're killing it. It's Maddie.
Fast the intro. Big up the guy with the intro.
We'll get on those hot mics very soon. The one, the only.
There we go.
Brendan Shaw. Brendan, what's up, brother?
What's going on, pal? Yeah, man. Hopefully we got a game bread coming up. That was so much fun, man.
Yeah, I like that. And I don't know if you're more
Hey man.
we had more fun commentating or more fun going to Mary Mahoney's, but I don't know which one,
Oh, dude, Mahoney is tough to beat. We did fan questions on Firing the Kid. I think it comes out this week because we're in the transition moving to Austin, right? So we have to bank some assets. So we banked one of fan questions. One of the fan questions was if you're on death row, your last meal. And mine was Mahoney's by far.
I'm with you there. I'm with you. The lethal injection, Mahoney's, then the lethal injection. Give it to us. I'm with you, brother.
Give it to me. Dude, that's my favorite restaurant of all time in
100%.
Biloxi, Mississippi, dude.
It's crazy. Crazy life, man. All right, so much to get into. UFC 314. We saw the Patty Pimblett show take over Miami, Florida. Volkanovski, is he the greatest featherweight of all time? So much. And before, though, this, baseball dads and happy wife, happy life stuff. So before I say anything else about fighting, my wife wanted to ask you. She's like, hey, when is my man Brendan? When is Jerry O'Connell? When is Bravo? When is this happening again? She was a massive fan, brother. When is
Jesus Christ, man. The glazing. Relax, bro. Relax.
this happening?
Man, I'll tell you what, that show is Jerry O'Connell.
Oh, by the way, this is Brendan trying to explain why he got fired from Bravo. But I'm assuming he's going to do it in a way that makes him look amazing, right? Let's see. Let's see what happened. Let's read between the lines. So, let's see.
I forget the other, Michael Yo, one of the old VJs from MTV. We had that show where we broke down. It's ridiculous to say, but we broke down Real Housewives of all the cities.
Yeah.
And we had Kelly Rippon, all these big stars, and they shot like 5 episodes in New York. But it came out right around the Me Too movement, like right when that was hot. So Bravo was like, bro, we can't have a panel of 4 dudes breaking down a female show. So it was just bad timing, man. That's all.
Yep. I know. It's I thought it was classic. It's so funny. Like I said, my brother, massive fan of yours. I saw you long ago. He brings you up all the time. And my wife, same thing. She doesn't care any of this fight world. She's like, wait, I know Brendan. He was on Bravo. Like that's how she knows you. It's crazy.
Dude, I was on Bravo for a hot second, doing the pre and post shows for like the Grammys, the Oscars, all that stuff, man.
But to be fair, fumbling that the way he did was crazy as well. You're not gonna go be a host forever, but fumbling it because no one remembered who you are is kind of mean girlish. I'm not gonna lie, but hey.
And I knew my time was coming to an end because they brought me on, and these celebrities, they look ridiculous, and they're walking the red carpet, and we're live, dude, and I'm just lighting these dudes. I'm lighting
Powerful
the guys up. I'm lighting the
bunch.
girls up.
Big up Kim Baby.
Russell Brand has always been British Charlie Sheen. They are both creeps and drug addicts, but somehow have success.
I'm gonna say Charlie Sheen is probably worse than Patrick, if that means anything. I think he's probably worse, and I think you will. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's most of it. Covered. I'm not gonna lie. What is it here? Big up Mr. Bob as well. Let's go. Futures
having fun, like roasting them. Because at the time, also, I was doing King the Sting with Theo Vaughn, which was an all roast show. So that was
Hold on, I fucking skipped
on the
it.
Me Too movement. Like
I skipped too far. Sorry.
Hey, when is my man Brendan? When is Jerry O'Connell? When is Bravo? When is this happening again? She was a massive fan, brother. When is this happening?
Man, I'll tell you what, that show is Jerry O'Connell, me, I forget the other, Michael Yo, one of the old VJs from MTV. We had that show where we broke down. It's ridiculous to say, but we broke down Real Housewives of all the cities.
Yeah.
And we had Kelly Rippon, all these big stars, and they shot like 5 episodes in New York. But it came out right around the Me Too movement, like right when that was hot. So Bravo was like, bro, we can't have a panel of 4 dudes breaking down a female show. So it was just bad timing, man. That's all it was.
Okay.
I know. It's I thought it was classic. It's so funny. Like I said, my brother, massive fan of yours. I saw
Christ.
you long ago. He brings you up all the time. And my wife, same thing. She doesn't care any of this fight world. She's like, wait, I know Brendan. He was on Bravo. Like that's how she knows you. It's crazy.
Dude, I was on Bravo for a hot second, doing the pre and post shows for like the Grammys, the Oscars, all that stuff, man. And I knew my time was coming to an end because they brought me on, and these celebrities, they look ridiculous, and they're walking the red carpet, and we're live, dude, and I'm just lighting these dudes. I'm lighting the guys up. I'm lighting the girls up.
Yeah, right. Exit out.
At the time, also, I was doing King the Sting with Theo Vaughn, which was an all roast show. So that was like my pattern. I was just like roasting people every Tuesday, Thursday. And I got on E, and when you roast, who was it? It was like Little Zany X, where the hell those guys are. And he was just like sad, and I just like lit him up. And then the producer in my ear, like, dude, you gotta back off. I'm like, I can't. And then Lady Gaga walks down the aisle, and she has like 14 people holding her dress. I'm making fun of her. And at the end, the producer was just like, I think we're good, man. I think we're good. I was like, oh, I won't be back. And yeah.
I thought that story was going to end with, then I met Madonna. She's a big fan of the show. That's what I thought he was going to say. Come on, fucking Villa. Come on, put the bananas in the chat. Come on. Come on, you pieces of shit. Come on. Let's fast forward a bit. What am I doing here?
But honestly, I loved it. And I heard, from the bosses above, they loved it. And it was different. It was us, right? It wasn't just the vanilla and that you hear other stuff. But like I said,
but you know what it is, like with all that stuff. Like, I've worked with so many people, but when it comes to that commentary team, the reason why Rogan, Anik, and DC are by far the best, like bar none, hands down, the best of all time.
Why?
Because there's chemistry there, and they're friends. So you and I didn't. We knew each other, but we haven't worked together. So I was getting nervous because if you don't like gel with somebody, then I'll just go into the X's and O's, and it's gonna be pretty boring. But if I feel comfortable where I can mess around and get kind of silly and know you're gonna cover your bases, dude, then we're cooking. We're cooking, dude. So I had so much fun, man. I had so much damn fun.
Yeah. Likewise. You remember you cooked my watch. I remember that to this day, brother. Cooked it.
I owe you a watch, man. I told you, I said, I gotta get you a new watch, dude. I owe you a watch, bro. I owe you a watch. I got it, man.
Gotcha. All right. Let's get into it. UFC 314. Of course, I listened to your stuff. I watched it this morning. So a lot of it I know, but a lot of it I want to bring to the Fight Bananas crew here. I know Volkanovski won the championship. Reclaim featherweight goatness if you want to, and won the main event. Still, with that being said, it was the Paddy Pimblett show. Paddy Pimblett stole the show all week, and we've talked about it off air too. I see all the analytics of everything we do in Fight Bananas. Paddy Pimblett 4-1 Alexander Volkanovski all week long. It was his week, his show. Even with getting the stoppage on Michael Chandler, I thought Paddy Pimblett stole the show. Nice. What do you think, and what's next for Paddy?
Yeah, I think no matter who you have on, unless it's like a Conor McGregor type, Paddy's going to steal the show. So, Tom Aspinall's a big name over there in England, and people think he's the face of kind of Europe right now, and I disagree. There's no
Europe.
No one for him to fight. Even if he fights John Jones, after that, it's kind of there's no one for him to fight. So I think Paddy's that guy. And right now with the UFC, they need stars, man. You're in the same business.
But you can tell his mind is breaking. Everyone's really good. This guy, I've got his name. I think it's Stephen Fry. But they're dancing around his room. He already feels a bit knackered, So, yeah. But, yeah, what can you do? What can we do? Continue on the video?
As I am. So, it's like across the board, views and ratings are down, man. Because there's not that it factor where the casual fans are tuning in. The hardcores, they know exactly
they got us.
They're never leaving. Right. But in order to get those massive views, in order to get those crossovers, you got to have stars. And UFC has a real star problem right now. Paddy's that guy. I've interviewed everybody in the freaking world, and there's Conor's a different animal. But take Conor out of this. When it comes to just especially the current UFC roster, Paddy, I'm telling you, man, is a freaking superstar. This dude, I mean, when I interviewed him, he was probably.
I think when I first saw those Margiela boots, I immediately thought they had a handkerchief stowed on or attached onto the right hand of the shoulder. Okay, cool. Let's continue with the clip. Come on, you piece of shit.
230 pounds. I mean, fatty Paddy. And he's a guy that even at that size, he just commands the room. He's so goddamn talented, man. He's so talented.
I couldn't agree more. With that being said,
not to mention, he has his haters. That's what you want.
You need that.
Conor has that. John has it. All the stars has that. I don't know a lot of hate on Aspinall, and that's probably why he's not as big a star as he is. He's such a good person.
Great point.
But you want people to care. They're tuning in whether you lose or whether you win. It's a Floyd Mayweather effect.
What?
For Patty, it's like
What are you talking about?
you're on this climb with him. It's my
Okay.
favorite part of mixed martial arts. I think it's the best part of sports when you have a prospect and they're on this climb.
Uh-huh.
And for Patty, it's like the UFC's doing it right. They learn from their
Okay.
mistakes with Darren Till. They've learned from their mistakes with Sage Northcutt. So they're slowly building him up, and he's passing the test. And the naysayers like, he won't beat Bobby Green. He won't beat the King. And then he smokes him. Like, all right, well, he beat him. And then they go, he's an older guy. He loses all the time. Like, okay, here's Michael Chandler. Now he's a
Good
top
point.
10 guy.
Very,
You won't
very
beat
good
him.
point.
Dude, that wasn't even a competition. He beat the brakes off Charlie O. I mean, he beat the brakes off Michael Chandler way worse than Charlie O did. Way worse. Way
100%,
worse.
100%.
So to me, I love when guys are passing these tests. If you remember, same thing with Conor McGregor. Same freaking thing. People are like, oh, he won't beat this guy. Aldo got his number. You know, oh, Chad Mendes
Exactly.
can wrestle, and he's
Right, Mendes, yeah.
So it was always this. It was always this. Oh, he can't do it. He can't do it. Patty's that guy, man. People need to get on board.
People forget, Brendan. I say this all the time. Everyone's like, "Oh, Conor was gifted this, golden road to the title. He defeated Dustin Poirier and Max Holloway on the road." People forget that they weren't those men then, but fight level they were. It was crazy time.
Yo, not to mention Chad Mendes on short notice and had a torn meniscus and got taken down. Lost that first round, kept getting taken down. And people are like, "Oh, this is the one." He knocks homeboy out. No, he can't take it from. Listen, Conor has his issues now, but no.
It's wild. Like I said, I always listen to your stuff, always watch your stuff. And I know for us too, like you said, we're in, the business of watching, clicking and posting. Conor's always great for that. But like I for the last 6 months, I think ever since the Chandler, and then a little bit even after that, I thought but everything he's doing over there in bare knuckle, I'm like, this guy's never coming back, Brendan. He's never coming back. He's going to be president, I think. He's never coming.
Okay, cool. Cool. Oh, why'd I keep fucking doing that with my fucking fingers? For goodness sake. Cool. But yeah, really tuned in. Smash the like, hit subscribe, all that good shit.
Dude, like you said, we're in, the business of watching, clicking and posting. Conor's always great for that. But like I for the last 6 months, I think ever since the Chandler, and then a little bit even after that, I thought, but everything he's doing over there in bare knuckle, I'm like, this guy's never coming back, Brendan. He's never coming back. He's going to be president, I think. He's never coming back to us. I don't think he is, ever.
I know. And
the funny thing is, like, I guess it's not a controversial statement, but I think current day Rogan still beats fucking Michael Chandler, Seeing how much he struggled against power against him, and then obviously fucking he's no big puncher, but he's definitely got precision, and that takes his damage. I wonder what he's going to do. I wonder what Sentry's going to do. But hey, what do I know? Continue.
I can't tell if my bias is like hanging on to that, but I also think there's a chance, and Patty's that guy that I think he would take the chance on. Now the plan was for him to fight an older Michael Chandler like Patty did, right? And Chandler wasted 2 years of his prime in that, or whatever he had left of his prime, wasted waiting around for Conor, because that's the big.
Let's skip ahead.
What is your absolute favorite? If you said, hey, I can just do that one, make a good.
Hold on. Let's see. I want to see the question.
Get his shit together and fight him. I'm hoping. Cool. I've been saying this for 2 years, dude. I'm hoping. I don't know.
What's the question?
Yeah. It'll be the biggest fight in the game for sure. A couple little things off the UFC, and we'll get right back in there. And I know you got to run in a little bit. You got another show to do. Everything that you do outside, of course, you were UFC heavyweight, did it all right, but now you're on this side of everything. Yeah. Commentary, podcast, and everything you've done, stage and shows and watch-alongs with Rogan and all that. What is your absolute favorite? If you said, hey, I can just do that one, make $1 gazillion, I can do the truck stuff, I can see baseball on the weekend. If you had just to pick one, what is that one?
It'd be a toss-up between the Companions with Rogan. The Companions is so much fun. It's just like the boys hanging out. The Companions with Eddie, Brian, and Rogan, like the original OG crew.
Didn't he say that?
That's probably my favorite thing to do. And then Fighter and the Kid, like, whether the Fighter Kid makes money or not, I'd do that for life. Like, I just
press X a doubt. There's no way he's doing Fighter and the Kid for free. I don't believe you. Sorry, I don't believe you.
It's just it's my comfort zone. And then the Shop Show's been around over 10 years. Like, I love just ranting into the camera, but I don't think much would change if let's say
it
Jeff
would.
Bezos
Don't,
or
stupid.
Elon
Of
Musk was
course
like,
it
here's
would.
a billion,
You
you're a
buy
cool
probably
guy.
5 cars.
Like I'd still do podcasts and what I'm doing now.
Come on,
you know?
Yeah, I
Gotta
think I
stay
probably
busy.
would.
That's I kind of feel the same way. We had a watch along Saturday. We had our guy Grant Dawson in the studio. We just had the best
Big up
time. It was
Grant
just
Dawson,
you know
whoever
the
the fuck
boys
that
hanging
is.
around watching fights. We were joking. Grant had this line. I'm telling you, we posted it, Brendan. It's up your alley. Another guy, our guy Coach Mike, asked Grant. He goes, "How tall is Patty?" And like Mike's like, "I think he was 5'11". And then Grant looks at him and he goes, on Tinder, it said 5'11 and a half. It was so good.
That's great. That's
on
great.
the fly.
Good humor.
And then when Rogan moved to Austin, I stayed here. He was like, dude, I'm so busy. He was like, I'm so busy. Why don't you do the campaign yourself? And I was like, yeah, sure. That's easy.
Mm-hmm.
But it drained me, man. It drained me. It's right when I launched Thick Boy. I had 6 different shows. I doubled down everything.
Yeah.
I was booking all these guests, and it just took the
How about
fun
stand-up?
out of it.
How about
So I think
stand-up?
one of
How
the
about
reasons
stand-up?
I liked when I worked for Showtime. I liked when I worked for Fox. There's pros and cons, right? I liked when
You got stand-up deal.
when I can just show up to Rogan's in Austin and it's plug and play, and Jamie's ready to go. You got Eddie there, you got Brian there.
No.
I know what they're gonna add. I don't have to carry the
Jesus
show.
Christ.
When I started doing it myself, it took the fun away from it. So I kind of just stopped doing it. Same thing with food truck. I did food truck for 6 years.
Yeah, for a minute.
I did it for a hot second. I owned all the IP. So when I left Showtime, I was like, I'll just keep doing it. But then I have to book everything. And then I found myself
what do you
kind of waking up the morning when I had to have food truck and it's like, damn, again? So I stopped doing that. I've done it for so long. And I was like, what? I just got to.
So Brendan's trying to make it. So is this like a middle class, working class LARP? Trying to act like he felt the recession any kind of way. Like some of us only felt it because we like particular artists and we follow them on social media. And you may have seen them, putting up a post about, hey, I'm doing smaller parties now because X, Y, and Z owes me this and that and that. That makes sense.
Just too comfortable. So I just shut it down, man. I shut it down.
A question I would love to pick your brain about with us doing, the game break commentary and everything that happened. I know you were going to do stuff for the GFL. Like I said, we kind of talked a little bit of off air about that. Mike Perry's thing, dirty boxing, PFL, Jake. What's your 2 cents? What does one of these brands outside the juggernaut of the UFC, what does one of these brands need to do to get it right and to be semi number 2? What does one thing need to do?
Out of all those names you listed, the only one I would invest in would be Jake Paul because it's so different than the UFC. The rest of these
are, for fuck's sake, clout chasing. Again with this Jake, again, man, really?
Are just knockoff versions of the UFC, and they're trying their best to mimic the UFC. And you're just not going to win that battle, man. It's like coming out with a new brand of cola. You got Coca-Cola, dude. You're not going to be Coca-Cola. So it has to be something so different that the UFC done with Jake Paul, what he's doing and fighting these guys, like it's so different than the UFC. That's going to draw way more attention. So Jake Paul's doing it right. Listen, with the GFL stuff, like even you texting like, hey man, you think this is gonna, they're gonna, have events throughout the whole year? And I don't know. They told me, before I do anything, my manager's like, let me see the funding, all that, and they had funding. I got paid. So I never assume these things are gonna go through. It's just I've been in the game too long. So I'm like, so when I got the news, I'm like, that makes sense. That makes sense because it's so up and down. The fight game's so damn tough. I think from being in the fight game with, work at Madison Square Garden with Showtime, for Bellator, for Gamebred, for all these different fight promotions, you realize that the amount of respect you should have for the UFC should be tenfold. What they're doing, I know they're the big dogs, so they get all the hate, but they're the only...
No, they don't get the hate because they're the big dogs. UFC get the hate because they treat their fighters like shit, and some of them they barely pay. So that's why fighters have to keep on fighting no matter what, and make sure they show up, make sure they put a good fight on, or they won't get paid, or they can't stunt, with the haters with the food on either. That's not how it works, fam. But hey, what do I know?
Combat promotion to ever make a profit. They're the only one to actually work out. So,
and that worked out primarily because they didn't offer their fighters good terms. Shitty pay. if you're fighting 6 times per year, man. It's madness. Come on. Oh, sorry,
hats off to Dana and that crew, man. It's wild what they do.
For sure, for sure. Like I said, here's a good one. Real ones, remember, it was the Big Brown Breakdown before the Below the Belt and Schaub show. The real ones.
Right.
I love it.
That's right.
I love it. That's my little bro, man. Last one for you. I know you got to run, and you kind of mentioned it earlier. And maybe I showed you this little note before we went on. What can the UFC do about the star power? We got Ian Gary.
I'm gonna pause it there. We'll pick this up again tomorrow because there's not really a lot else to watch actually. So we'll pick this up again tomorrow, and then I'll upload my my little Tim Dillon. Tim Dillon? Yeah, no. So my Joe Rogan Funny Part 6 is going up on Patreon now. So keep an eye out for that if you're on the notification gang. Let's pause it there. And then we'll come back tomorrow for more random show and more Taz. More random show, more Taz. And we'll get through the rest of the tabs and we'll smash the rest of the tabs. But yeah, big up everyone for tuning in. Smash the like button, hit subscribe, join the channel, all that good shit. Hang out at the Discord, all that good shit. Yeah, literally tomorrow in the morning, as soon as I wake up, Mr. Bob, the first thing I'm gonna do is fucking get that jacket out of the cupboard, out of my wardrobe. Sorry, I don't really have a big wardrobe, it's kind of small, so I put all the big jackets at the back, and then, you know, that's why it's a bit of a nonsense to get it out, but I'll get it out. So I have it ready to wear and to show off and shit, and thank M Dust for hooking me up with that jacket, absolute legend. So yeah, so be prepared to check that out. What else we're gonna do tomorrow? Yeah, so tomorrow, so I'm gonna upload Is Joe Rogan Funny Part 6 on Patreon right now. Tomorrow I'm gonna upload the Tim Dillon stand-up special from on Netflix reaction onto fucking Patreon 2 tomorrow. And is there a new Tfatk? No, there isn't, right? There's meant to be one, I think. No, there's meant to be one tomorrow actually. There's meant to be a new Tfatk dropping tomorrow. Let's see if it does. So if it does, it'll give us something to watch as well. And that's about it for now. That I can think of. But if I think of anything more, of course, I'll update you, man, innit? But everybody else, appreciate you. Smash the like, hit subscribe, all that good shit. Thank you for hanging out with me. And I'll see you all again tomorrow. Maybe a daytime session actually tomorrow, depending on if I get up early enough. But it should be a little quick daytime thing, depending how quickly I can get everything sorted out tonight. So hopefully see you then. My guys, my girls, and everybody else in between. Take care of yourself. Let's freaking go. Okay? Cool. Peace.